and Bryant Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6. It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. The third best day of the work week. Well, actually, the week, right? You're not working on Saturday and Sunday. Got to put them number one and number two. But Friday is a good day. It wasn't a great night last night for the United States in the World Cup soccer event, but don't fret. It really didn't mean much. It was the Seinfeld of games. Much to do about nothing, right? They lost. They lost in dramatic fashion, but they're moving into the knockout stage. We welcome you into Sports 56 Mornings on this Friday, June 26th, 2026. Greg Gaston, Jay Ham, Eli is off once again today. We're getting you set for the sports weekend. We got a big show for you planned once again. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Summer is now officially here. Time to get those backyards ready for the ultimate pool party. And they got everything you need at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Got a partly cloudy day today, breezy, humid, only about a 15% chance of precip. In fact, it looks like we're going to be more than likely rain-free for the next 3, 4, 5 days, but you never know. Again, with the humidity, sometimes you get a pop-up shower. But it looks to be nice today, although hot, 90, 92 tomorrow, 95 Sunday, 98 Monday and Tuesday. But again, a lot of sunshine and heat and humidity. Hour one of the program brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. I know a way to cool off with one of those award-winning craft spirits from Old Dominick, 305 South Front Street. The distillery bar is fantastic. Hopefully a lot of folks were able to heed my advice and stop by yesterday for the happy hour from 4 to 7 on Thursdays. It's great. $7 cocktails made with the signature spirits, $4 local beers. Old Dominick Distillery producing Tennessee whiskey, bourbon whiskey, Honeybell citrus vodka, and Formula 10 gin. Really 150 years in the making. That's when the Canali family came over to our country and to this area of the country. The revival began in 2017 when the doors opened to the public. You can go there anytime to celebrate your wins. You can make it a nightcap after a night or an evening out watching some sports entertainment in downtown, or one of the fine restaurants. You may stop by and have a great dinner, and then you want a nightcap. Well, get that nightcap over at Old Dominick Distillery. Check out the website olddominick.com. Old Dominick Distillery, come for the spirit, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Coming up on the program today, we'll talk World Cup. We'll talk Grizzlies. The 3 new draft picks were on hand yesterday and met the media. We'll tell you a little bit of what they had to say. Also, plenty of other NBA news, as even though the draft has taken place, there's going to be a lot more that'll be happening in the next few weeks with free agency, still some trades that could happen. And then before too long, just a couple of weeks, Summer League action will begin. You'll see these youngsters in action for the first time in their new professional uniforms. We also got a lot of Major League Baseball to get into as well. Landon Speck's going to join us at 8:05. He covers the Grizzlies for Sports Illustrated, and he covers the Tigers as well for On3 Sports. So we'll talk to him about both those topics. Joe DeLeon in his normal Friday time slot at 8:25. We'll get his thoughts on everything that's going on, the latest with the Protect College Sports Act and some of the things that are in that bill. And also now the latest slew of lawsuits has to do really with the class of 2022 and the fact that they will not be given that 5th year. And there's a lot of attorneys already fighting for individual athletes. So we'll talk to Joe about that. We'll play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation at about 9:05. At 9:30, Robert Miller is going to join us in studio, the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. I had him booked before the big news came down about the PGA Tour's future with the schedule starting in 2028. So we'll see what Robert knows. He's probably in the same boat as we are, still not really understanding completely what the role of FedEx will be moving forward and how it will affect the FedEx St. Jude Championship. But we'll ask him, and perhaps maybe he does have some information for us. But he'll join us at 9:30. Then we'll wrap it up at 10 and get on out of here and get our weekend started. We do have, once again, some of those St. Louis Church Charity Hole-in-One Festival buckets of balls to give away. I'm going to do that either in hour number 1 and hour number 2. I made an appearance over there last night, had a lot of fun. I haven't won probably in about 7 years, I think. But I was hitting the ball really well. I put about 15 on the green. It's just, you got to pick the right bay to hit out of. And I had a tough angle from where I was hitting. I thought I hit some good shots, but nothing close enough to win me a prize. But a lot of prizes were won last night. I think they give out money for 3 holes in one each night if that happens. And I think I'd heard there was only 2 all week long going into last night. I believe somebody told me there was 3 last night. So good for them. A lot of fun over at St. Louis Church. Jay Ham, how are you this morning?
Pretty good. I'm trying to bear with this heat that I know we got coming soon. So I'm getting ready for this weekend to do with no really other basketball other than the WNBA. I'm just going to probably watch a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, I don't have anything scheduled for this weekend, which is rare. So I'm not sure. I watched a lot of soccer. I'll watch a lot more of soccer starting next week with the knockout round.
Right.
But this weekend, they're still fighting to get into the final 32, and I don't know if that'll interest me that much, but if that's the only thing on, I mean, we got Big 3 basketball?
Big 3 basketball, WNBA basketball, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, but look, baseball's my favorite sport, but Game 83, Game 85, I'm not real enthralled about that.
That's kind of how I am with Game 25 sometimes in the NBA.
It's a long season. They talk about the dog days of summer. We're in the dog days. Although the All-Star break is coming up in just a few weeks,
right,
and then we'll have the trade deadline. And I do have some baseball news. There's a wild action yesterday that I want to talk about. And, again, the All-Star voting continues. It'll wrap up here sooner than later, and we'll know about that. Ali Marmol got a nice little invite yesterday. He will be part of the National League All-Star coaching staff. The head coach or the manager of the Cardinals will be on the staff. Dave Roberts will be the skipper of the National League, and Don Mattingly, who was not the manager of the Phillies to start the year, he replaced Rob Thompson, and the Phillies have been red hot since he took over. He will also be a part of that staff, as the game will be played in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park. But I wanted to start today with the World Cup and the USA's loss. Before I talk about the details, and again, it meant nothing. That's why I call it the Seinfeld game.
I was joking with my guy, Mo Schefter. I said, this is like the Week 18 game in the NFL when guys have already clinched.
Right.
But they're playing next week, so they still want to stay crisp.
Yes, but there are some people that are losing their mind, and Coach Ponch, he was saying, look, man, relax.
Yeah.
We won our group. We did what we needed to do. They've played great soccer. We talked about the 4 players with the yellow cards. They didn't play last night. He had a lot of backup guys in there. Pulisic ended up coming in at the 57th minute, looked good, looked like he'd score a goal. He hit the post on one of his shots. But again, there's nothing to be concerned about losing that match. I know Turkey had been a big disappointment. They were expected to be one of the teams from that group to advance, and they hadn't scored a goal in the 2 previous games they played. And they ended up scoring 3 in this one and winning in dramatic fashion. But it is what it is. The United States will play on Wednesday next week, Bosnia-Herzegovina, in the round of 32. That's when, if they lose, then you could be upset and concerned and all that. But I think they have a pretty good draw and will be the favorites to win that match. Now, let me get back to my night watching this match. All right, Jay Ham, you talk about a bad beat. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I play enough, but I don't play big stakes. Oh. And I had a free bet. Again, it wasn't a substantial amount of money, but it was a nice, they owed me like a free bet and all. So I played the free bet. And here was my strategy. So I'm thinking, The United States is resting guys. They don't want to lose, but they're resting guys.
Right.
Turkey, if these guys don't score a goal, let alone win a match and go back home, they may be executed. So they're determined last night
Okay. I see where you're going
to
with
play
this.
well.
Right.
Okay? And then, you want to beat, everybody wants to beat the United States.
Right.
Middle Eastern country, all that jazz. Okay, so Turkey's good. They've been good. They just haven't really performed in the World Cup over the years. So here I'm going, look, I'm not going to pick against my country, so I'm not going to pick them to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to win. I'm going tie
Okay.
at plus 330.
Oh, man.
So I go tie at plus 330. Now, as the match is going on, I'm like, okay, Turkey needs a goal to take the lead because the United States is going to come back and tie them. So when they scored 2-1, it was 2-2. It was 2-2. Pulisic comes in. The United States starts peppering. I go, they're going to score. They're going to score a couple of goals. Hit the post. Great save. They don't score. I go, man, look at the clock. The clock's winding down. I got a chance. And then Turkey had a couple of shots that you thought maybe they'd score. They didn't score. Looking pretty good. But I always know never to count your money until the dealing's done, as Kenny Rogers said, until the game is over, until the whistle is blown. So now we finish regulation time at 90 minutes, and they throw 7 minutes up, right? Extra time. 7 minutes because of injury stoppages and things. People know that by now if you follow soccer. So there's 7 additional minutes. Again, a couple of chances throughout the 7 minutes are done. We go to an 8th minute. The announcers did say that they may add time, even though we never saw any graphic. They didn't update it because of the injury to Austin Trusty, who had a goal for Memphis, who had a goal for the United States and ended up getting hurt late in the game. Looks like he'll be okay, though. He ended up coming back into the game. But they played for a little bit with 10 players because he was out, but not for a long time. So here we are, 97. Okay, 7 minutes are done. I'm going, all right, blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. They go into the 98th minute. And for those who did not see it, Turkey's putting a little pressure on. They go into the corner. Pulisic's trying to guard the one guy. He kicks it out of bounds. I'm like, okay, blow the whistle. Nope, they allow him to throw it in. He throws it in. They kick it to the middle. They make a pass. The guy scores. Basically, the guy scored on the last shot in the 8th minute of stoppage time, where it should have been only 7 minutes.
Yeah.
That is a bad beat, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man.
That is a bad beat. I had a tie. They ended up losing. So it adds injury to insult. My gut's hurting, but the United States ends up losing too. And I'm thinking to myself, I just stayed up that late, wasted beauty sleep because I need it. And now I'm grouchy. I am the old man that says, get off my lawn. I am not happy with that. But again, for people, and you should be fans of the United States. If you're not, you're a commie. They're going to be okay. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. That's the ultimate bad beat.
When you said the tie, and I didn't watch the game, but I heard how it ended, and everything was, that last goal was in the final seconds.
I'm telling you.
My heart goes out to you, man.
Not only the final seconds, it was more than the time that was supposed to be on. And again, the official, I know this drives Eli crazy. It's his discretion when to blow the damn whistle.
Right.
Sometimes they do it like right away. Sometimes they wait till that last kick or maybe a corner or a throw in, like some kind of set piece. So, again, that happened. But, again, United States, they're in. They have scored the most goals that they have ever scored in a single World Cup. They've already done that in 3 games.
Historic run. I mean, because I've never known for them to be a contender.
No, they never have been a contender. You could have been a contender.
I mean, I always know it is about the women, but when it comes to the men, it just, whatever the case.
Well, we always, and this is what this drove me crazy for years. And people who are regulars that listen to the show over the years, and Eli and I have been doing it for 21 years now. They know how many times we've had soccer guests on and say, what? Why can't we be better in the United? Why can't we have a better men's team? We have a great women's team. Why can't we have a better men's team? And, people give me this crappy excuse of, well, the best athletes are playing other sports in the United States. You know how many people are in the freaking United States? You're telling me you can't get 11 dudes?
I mean, check our medal count at the Olympic Games.
Right. in every sport. It doesn't matter what freaking sport they just invented. We invent half those X game things. We're great in just about everything, right?
All right.
We win hockey, for goodness sakes. Hockey wasn't invented in the United States. So anyway, it's a poor excuse about soccer. Well, the best athletes from those countries play for their team. And that may very well be. But we have a lot to choose from. And so what we're seeing with this, in my opinion, with this year's team, we're seeing the ultimate athleticism. We're seeing speed. I'm not saying that the Landon Donovans of the world and those guys didn't have skills. They certainly did. But I think team speed, we have that right now. Again, last night, you had guys that he kept out, and he did the right thing, because if they got another yellow, that means red. That's 2 yellows. That adds up to a suspension for the next game. You want to have your full arsenal, which they will. So again, in the overall meaning of this game, it meant squadouche. It meant a lot to me, or anybody who bet on it. But nobody should be that upset, and there are a few people that are upset. But the whole point of the athleticism thing, it drives me crazy, because we have a lot of guys, and all the countries do. All the countries do. Like, I was watching, was it Sweden? Yeah, I think it was Sweden, and they tied Japan. I think both are advancing. And the guy scored a goal for Sweden. I mean, an absolute bullet, a rocket. And, born in Germany. Like, what? Born in Germany, but now I'm sure is a citizen of Sweden and is allowed to play. The United States team, I think more so even in the past, we have a little bit more homegrown now, but we got guys that were born somewhere else and then now are citizens of the United States, and that's perfectly legal. You can have that. That's why you have a lot of guys with Hispanic names, and because they have this Hispanic heritage. Right. We are a melting pot country. Exactly. So when you combine the amount of people in this country, the fact that we are a melting pot with guys and gals, of course, coming from all over the world, many of them who grew up playing soccer, not other sports, and to be able to field a good team, and we couldn't field a really competitive team.
That never made sense to me either.
But now we have one. We have a competitive team. Now, I agree with Tim Howard. I think it's virtually impossible for them to win it all, because they'd have to win the quarterfinals, the semis, and the finals against the powers of the world. But you never know. That commercial with Mike Eruzione, you don't believe in miracles? So you play it out. But again, I don't think it's some big disappointment that they lost last night. I told you the reasons why. And now they get set to turn the page and face Bosnia-Herzegovina. We're getting closer to the 4th of July. Everybody should have that patriotic spirit. Unfortunately, we don't all have that in this country, but I think we should all come together for this team. How far can they go? I don't really know. I don't know. But you had some other results last night. Netherlands beat Tunisia 3-1. That's a real good team. Ivory Coast is in to the final 32, beat Curacao 2-0. Ecuador shocked Germany. They had to win to advance, and they advanced. But Germany's in as well. Right. So, anyway, it was I can't say it was a great night of soccer for me personally and for our country, but it is what it is. Okay, when we come back, Grizzlies on display yesterday. You can't say the 3 newest Grizzlies, because there's actually 4 new Grizzlies, although one not yet officially a Grizzly, and Isaiah Stewart, so he wasn't there. This was about the draft picks. And we'll tell you what Cam Boozer and Richie Saunders and Kareem Lopez and even Zach Kleiman had to say at yesterday's presser when we return. Again, hour number 1 brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery, located at 305 South Front Street. Take the tour. It's kind of fun. Maybe this weekend you got nothing going on. Take the tour of the Old Dominick Distillery. See how they make these great spirits. And you can find out more about them online at olddominick.com. They list all their whiskey and spirits. They list all their signature cocktails. Instructions also on how you can make all these cocktails at home using Old Dominick Spirits. Old Dominick Distillery, come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Oh, by the way, no John Varlas the next 2 weeks as he's on vacation. We're back in a moment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on with Greg and Jay Ham today on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Looking for that perfect piece that says forever? As did Grammy winner Lainey Wilson for her engagement. Discover the elegance of Holly Winter fine jewelry in Germantown. From stunning custom designs and engagement rings to timeless gifts she'll treasure for years. Holly Winter offers personalized service and beautiful fine jewelry for every occasion. Visit Holly Winter Fine Jewelry at the Shops of Forest Hill on Poplar, where Memphis finds sparkle, style, and something truly special. Holly Winter Fine Jewelry, 9155 Poplar, Suite 18.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
At Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, it's the Volkswagen Driver Days event, and it's drivers wanted. If you're looking for sporty, we Gossett 2026 Jetta S. Just $249 a month, $249 a month for Jetta S. Luxury just got a new definition in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Now $269 a month. Brand new Tiguan S, $269 a month. And right now, Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike's got 2026 Atlas SE, only $329 a month. That's only $329 a month for a brand new Atlas SE. Ready for a new ride? We got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, 1875 Covington Pike, or shop online anytime at GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Atlas TC 564,681, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer in 6/30/26 dealer stock only.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. If you were anywhere in the Mid-South lately, you felt it. High winds, hail, and storms rolling through hard. And here's the truth. If your roof took a hit, you may not see it yet. Hail and wind damage shingles can compromise your roof, opening the door for water intrusion. And once it gets in, the damage spreads fast. Ceilings, walls, insulation, even mold. That's why the sooner we inspect, the less damage you risk. Right now, Metro Builders has teams all over Memphis performing free inspections, handling same-day repairs, and providing emergency water mitigation services if needed. We'll show you exactly what we see, document everything, and help you take action before a small problem becomes a big one. Don't wait until you see water inside. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or book your inspection online at MetroBuildersMemphis.com. That's Metro Builders Memphis. We don't just build, we build world class.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A steady flow of traffic spotted now coming down I-40 westbound. That's only going to get heavier the next few minutes passing Chambers Chapel, Canada Road. All that traffic flowing in right now on I-40 in from Fayette County here into this section of Shelby County. It's already a little bit crowded in the Midtown area, 240 northbound, especially as that builds up by Lamar. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, let them check it out today at Amco Transmissions. Amco, AA, beep, beep, MCO. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:25 the time. Our Friday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Jay Ham, Eli off today. Did get a text from someone in the 901 about the soccer. Said, go watch France, Germany, and Spain, and you'll see how far the United States is behind in soccer. I've seen those countries. Germany, I just mentioned that they lost last night to Ecuador. They got a little issue with their offense. But, yes, the point is well taken, and I think anybody that watches any soccer understands that the United States is behind those countries that have been dominant for years and years. But what we've been saying, and what the experts, more importantly, have been saying about this year's team is there's more speed, maybe more athleticism, but that's an argument, but more speed for sure. And that this is the team that's just come together and has more chemistry. And Coach Ponch, he's done a great job with them. So, yes, they're still light years away, understandably, from those powers, the world powers that have been powers for years and years, but they are still a team, I believe, on the rise, and the question still exists, why can't they be better? And this year, I think they're proving, take away last night, that they have become a bit better. All right, yesterday at FedEx Forum, the media was able to ask some questions of the three new draftees, and Zach Kleiman, the general manager, as well. Tomas Isolo also fielded some questions, the head coach. But all three, Cam Boozer and Kareem Lopez and Richie Saunders, were on hand, all smiles. Everybody's happy, and they should be. Of course, Saunders won't be playing for a while. We'll see what happens with his rehabilitation from his torn ACL. I'm sure he'll be accompanying the team out west when they go play summer ball, but it's going to be fun to watch Lopez and Boozer compete now as members of the Grizzlies. Some of the quotes, Jay Ham, from the guys that were on hand yesterday. Cam Boozer, I want to be a great player. I want to be one of the greatest players to play the game. There's definitely a chip on my shoulder. Talking about being picked third as opposed to being the first overall pick. Said he and Edey will dominate the boards.
I love it. What more can you say about that?
I mean, again, it's like a coach's press conference, right? Coaches, if you lose the press conference, you're in trouble, right? Coaches are probably 95%. Once in a while, they say something stupid or they talk in a different accent.
I think that this dude won the press conference before he even said a word with us.
Right.
Because we knew that he was a bona fide professional coming in.
Yeah, at 18 years old.
Yeah.
But he's polished, and he said similar things after the draft took place in Brooklyn to the interviewer that he talked to. As far as Kareem Lopez is concerned, he said, I'm just a winning player. I'm a high Q guy. And to be a guy that has the experience that Kareem Lopez does, part of the Mexican national team, playing professionally over in the NBL. He's been around the world. Obviously, he's not from this country, knows the NBA game. There's a lot of anticipation for this guy and how good he can eventually be. It's probably going to be baby steps, but Lopez has the tools.
It'll be baby steps until we see he's just ready to take that leap. And I think he's probably going to take that leap a little sooner than what we expect. But I'm looking forward to it.
He is 6'8". He's built well. What do you see him as far as position? Do you see him as a power forward, or is he more a big three, a big wing?
Tweener between those two, depending on who he's on the floor with and the matchup that you got on the other side. But I think he'll fit right into that slot. He can grow into that slot and become like everyday rotational player for that. So
Richie Saunders will be one of the older players on the team.
Be 25, I think, by the time the season
married.
Yeah.
Even though no professional experience, just college at BYU, and again having a great year, and then he gets hurt, blows out with the ACL. They dropped. Even with Devonta, they dropped. They were still good, but they were much better when they had that 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
But listening to him, even though it was kind of goofy when Cedric Howard was doing the interviews, and Cedric, he has a future.
Yeah.
He has a future in broadcasting, in the media. But he interviewed Saunders. He goes, he said, just a question from me, are you kind of a goofball? And he said, you know what? Yeah, kind of a goofball. But he said, I've made a career off of being the hardest working player on the court.
And that's something me and John Arden was talking about him yesterday. It's like, defensively, he's underrated. He will roll up his sleeves, get in the trenches, and defend. I'm not saying he's a lockdown defender, but you appreciate the effort that you're going to get from that cat. And great draft of mature players by Zach Kleiman. I give him that.
And yesterday I neglected to say that because he is a pretty solid defensive player, man-to-man defender, pretty decent rebounder, but I'm more impressed with what he can do shooting the ball from the outside, beyond the arc.
And it's like with him, when you worry about younger players coming into the league, or players coming into the league anyway, you think about them hitting their stride as men and understanding the game, what their role is, and just growing into that by the age of 25. Well, he's already there.
Zach Kleiman, again, was asked about Stewart. He couldn't say Stewart specifically, but he said there's a pending transaction that I can't discuss. But let's just say he will be an outstanding DNA fit for what we are building. And again, it seems like, and I don't want to jump to conclusions and say that the future looks so bright that it's going to be grit and grind 2.0. But maybe, just maybe it will. And the identity of the Grizzlies around the league had always been, you come to our den, we're going to knock you on your you-know-what.
It's an uncomfortable trip to come down there.
But it got away from him a bit.
It
got away. The next Ja, I'm not saying that a couple of guys certainly weren't, there were certainly some tough guys. I mean, Ja was really a tough guy for as small as he was.
But then the edge left when Dylan left.
A big edge left.
Then the edge left with
and
Dylan
when Adams, and he was
absolutely.
So it started to go away, and I say we, but they kind of lost their identity of who they are. This is a blue-collar town, and they need blue-collar workers. And I think those guys really fit it, especially Boozer. Yeah. He's a blue-collar guy. Again, Lopez, guy from Mexico. I'm sure bring the pail and the hard hat to work.
We just got to see this one through. We just got to let these guys grow up, take the lumps, take the hits, be patient, but also move accordingly, move smart.
And that's the dilemma right there. Yeah. Because, yes, you want to be patient, and they will be patient to a certain degree, but people thought Ja, Jaren, Dez, that thing was going to run for years. I don't know how many times on this show, before you were even producing for us, I said, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Just because the window's open one year doesn't mean that window's always going to be open. It's going to close, in fact. So you better take advantage when you can. And then things happen. Off the court things happen. Injuries happen. And all of a sudden, you're trading away the guys. It didn't work. I give them credit for moving in a different direction because it wasn't going to work. They weren't going to be able to make a dent into what they needed to do. They had injury-prone guys. The chemistry wasn't there. I'm not so sure that Ja, again, who's still part of the team technically, was enamored with Tomas Isolo. I heard you guys talking about that yesterday. Yeah. I think that's a good point to be made, that he wasn't real happy right off the bat about, and Isolo wasn't going to change for anybody. That's his style, where he wasn't playing 36 minutes. He was playing 26 minutes, 28 minutes.
In a rhythm league, and it's kind of tough to establish your rhythm when you chop down like that, but it has to be a medium. That's what John was saying yesterday. Look, have a meeting. All of y'all sit down, come to something, because it's something that we just all felt that it still could be a workable situation. You don't have to have 26, 27 a night Ja anymore.
Right.
17 and 9 Ja is cool. That's a point guard. But the reinvention of Ja has to come from the perimeter. He has to be able to knock down the open jumper. He's got, whether you got to spend the entire summer and shoot 360, whatever the case may be, it can be done. But he has to be the one to commit to it.
I want to talk about what they have now, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incomplete. So we don't know the whole story. We still don't know the rumors, the speculation with Ja. It's everywhere. Everywhere you turn, when you go on the internet and you're looking at sport, you're following sports people, especially basketball people, they're talking about Ja. Ja is he's a name that I think everybody knows beyond basketball. And so there's all, what team makes sense. I was listening to a podcast from the Miami Heat guys, and they were talking about, it's so weird. Like, Ja does, they don't want Ja. It doesn't make sense for Ja. They don't like the contract. They don't like the fact that he's been hurt and all that. But they said is it Jovic?
Yeah.
They said but if the Grizzlies took the Jovic contract, it would defray some of that cost for Ja. And the guy said, all right, I'll accept. It was almost like, here, you got to take this medicine to feel better. I don't want to take the medicine. The medicine's Ja. Okay, I know I got to get better. Give me the medicine. Again, I still think Ja has got a second act coming.
Me too.
It's not going to be in Memphis. I think he's got a second act, but I understand that teams, even those that are interested, are not showing their hand because they want to buy low as they can go. But how low will Zach basically sell? And that's the dilemma right now with Ja Morant. But getting back to the presser yesterday, and Boozer brought I don't know if he was asked the question or he just brought it up about being the face of the team. And we talked about this earlier in the week with Eli, and he said, He's your third overall pick. He's going to be your face. And I'm thinking to myself, because last year, I don't know how many times I said, Coward is going to be the future. He's the face. And some would say Edey's the face. But I can understand. It's just like Cooper Flag goes to Dallas. Doesn't even matter that, I guess, technically Kyrie Irving's still on the team and all that. He becomes the face, right? They traded Doncic and all that. Flag's the face. It makes sense that Boozer will become the face moving forward. But Cedric Coward,
well,
I love him. First of all, I love his game. Now I even love him more, knowing more about his personality, watching these video clips. That's the guy. He's not. I get a tear in the eye when I bring up Lenny Bias. And who knows, but Lenny Bias, to me, would have been one of the greats.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying he's Lenny Bias, but he shows some things that I saw with Lenny, that little fall-away baseline jumper, and a couple of things that he had. Not the extreme athleticism that Lenny had. Right. But I think Coward is great. And now with his personality, he's almost got that Jaren Jackson Jr. personality. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe there's multiple faces.
Well, that's what I was just about to ask. Who was the face of Grit and Grind?
See, that's a good point. It was multiple.
I thought it was all four of them.
Yeah.
All four of them, and just the temperament of the city itself.
That's it was a collective group. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It was not one individual. Right. It was when you talked about.
And that's what the culture was about.
It was like a Mount Rushmore of Grit and Grind, those four faces.
Exactly.
But, teams could also have the one guy. They could have the one, Giannis for all those years in Milwaukee. He's the face.
I mean, because we're looking at the three that we're talking about now. Those are our last three lottery picks. Zach Edey at 9, Cedric Coward, I think, what was he, 11? Cam at 3.
Right.
That's a good grouping for a face of any team.
I laughed when Cedric Coward said to Boozer, or I think it was something on the lines of, are the Duke fans still upset at me?
Hey, now, well, had he been there, there's no situation that happened in D.C. with UConn. That don't happen.
Right.
They're not even close to that situation to get walked down. So it is what it is. But just the maturity that these young men are showing already. Is a good look. It's a very good sign going forward.
Yeah, I think the Duke fans can ease up. He was never there.
No, he was never there.
He was never. It wasn't like he played a couple of games and then left them at the altar. He just never. He never made it to the church.
He never got to the 14 games that we got there for Kyrie.
Yes, exactly. There you go. So somebody had tweeted this out yesterday and put together a list of the roster. And it's all different. You got guys that are two-way guys. You have the rookies that are in. You still have Ja, who's a part of this team, and other things. And by the way, Landon Speckle joined us at 8:05. He put out a story yesterday on SI about what he thinks the rotation will be, and that's before any other changes. But he already ruled Ja out. And interesting, he also ruled KCP out, that he thought KCP would be dealt. Yeah. So I'm going to talk, and we will talk to Landon about that at 8:05. But this is the tweet. You probably saw it, J-Ham. Point guard, Morant, Pippen Jr., Spencer, Clayton, Small on a two-way last year. Shooting guard, Jerome, Coward, Caldwell Pope, Rupert, who was on a two-way in the end. Meshack, who was on a two-way in the end. Saunders, who, again, will be hurt for a good portion of at least the early part of the season. Small forward, Wells, G.G. Jackson, Omax. Power forward, Boozer, Aldama, Gibson, still on the team right now. Hendricks, Lopez, center, Edey, Stewart. Cooper's the guy I talked about yesterday that they, again, reportedly signed to a two-way. So the point of this tweet from the guy was they're already up to 22 guys, and they even have too many two-way guys. So there's a lot of moves or a lot of decisions still to be made and moves to be made. Oh. Everybody knows that. They're not done. We got free agency coming up. Let's see what they do with the exception that they have. They have the two. They have that one, which is $29 million, and I'm not sure how they're involving the Isaiah Stewart trade in the exception, but you got your mid-level, but you got this, and again, I need like Parker Fleming on to explain that, and maybe Landon knows, but I know that they got $29 million that they can use if they haven't instituted that with the Stewart trade. And I don't know why they would. I mean, Stewart's $15 million per year for 2 years with the team having the team option the second year. But when you get to that, when you get to the contracts and all that, that's not my game right there.
Too much literature in there for you.
Just tell me who's on the damn team. That's and if they're in trouble as far as being in the second apron and having to pay a penalty. But yeah, 22 guys. I mean, so you look at this right off the bat and you go, okay, Morant expected to be traded. Everybody and their mom out there, the Windhorsts of the world, all the guys believe he has played his last.
But they can't tell us where he's going.
They can't tell us where he's going. And nobody can 100% be sure. We all believe he's played his last game in Memphis. Pippen Jr. under contract. Spencer under contract. Clayton under contract. Came over in the Utah trade. Small on the two-way they like a lot. Jerome under contract for one more year. Coward under contract. Caldwell Pope just had his player option. Of course, he agreed to that. What, $22 million, somewhere in that neighborhood?
Somewhere in there, 20 plus, yeah.
Rupert, and I knew he was on the team, but I forgot that he had signed a two-way.
We forgot about a lot of those dudes. I mean, they had 33 guys on the roster last year, so.
It's true. Meshack two-way, Saunders, Wells, GG, they're all under contract. Omax became, he got a standard contract. He's under contract. Boozer, Aldama, Gibson under contract for this year, but it's less than $1 million. They could say goodbye to Taj, who's turning or just turned 41. Hendricks under contract. Lopez, Edey, Stewart, and Cooper's a two-way guy. Now, this does not include, if you go, and this is, I need to find this out. If you go on the website to, let's say, ESPN.com, and they have the roster, and they have the roster with the rookies that are now, and Isaiah Stewart, so they update it, but they have under contract for this year, Dariq Whitehead. I don't even remember Dariq Whitehead being one of those 33 guys last year. They signed him to a 2-year deal?
Let's have him from last year.
Look when you get a chance, look on ESPN.com at the roster for the Grizzlies. Because this guy right here looked like he did his homework, has 22 players listed, and he's not listed. Maybe it's a misprint by ESPN. But when you get to it, tell me. And you tell me if you don't see at the bottom, because they go in alphabetical order, Whitehead under contract for this year. You there yet?
I'm heading there now.
Okay. Again, Landon Speck's going to join us at 8:05 to talk both Grizzlies and Tigers. Joe DeLeon at 8:25 will play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation at 9:05. And then Robert Miller joins us in studio, the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Remember, you can hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines by either texting in or by calling in at 901-360-8255. Ron says Boozer will be the face of the Grizzlies, replacing Ja. Also from the 901, they said, come on at Zebo. Maybe they're saying that they thought Zebo was the face during Grit and Grind.
I mean, all four of them are getting their numbers retired. I mean,
it seems like it was a Mount Rushmore of Grit and Grind.
However they wanted to go.
Yeah.
It was just like, was it one definitive or was it more of a collective? Whichever one you saw it as,
right.
I can rock with it.
Did you get to this before I get to the break?
No, it's just pulling up now. It's slow on me.
My gosh. Okay. Take a look at it. Let me know that I'm not going crazy when we come back from the break. And then also, you can call in right now, if you like, at 901-360-8255. The first two callers, I'm going to give you 2 large buckets of balls to go over and hit at the annual St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival, a chance to win $1 million the next 2 nights, the last 2, today and tomorrow, your last chance. But if you are the first or second caller, 901-360-8255, I'll give you each a couple of large buckets of balls to go hit at St. Louis Church. We'll take a timeout. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show?
No!
Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals? They start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, for family and fun come together.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Five Ash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Five Ash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hello, I'm Ford Canale of Canale Funeral Directors. For more than a century, the Canale family has been honored to serve Memphis families during life's most difficult moments. In fact, Canale Funeral Directors is proud to be the oldest continually operating business in Memphis, built on a tradition of compassion, dignity, and personal service. When a family places their trust in us, we understand it's about much more than arrangements. It's about celebrating a life, honoring cherished memories, and providing comfort when it's needed most. Whether you're planning ahead or facing an immediate need, our experienced and caring staff is here to guide you every step of the way. From our family to yours, thank you for allowing us to serve generations of Memphis families with the respect and attention they deserve. Canale Funeral Directors, quietly caring since 1843.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
That's me in the corner.
7:51, final segment here in hour number one. Greg Gaston, Jay Ham. Eli is off today. Congratulations to our two winners. Go out there and win $1 million over at St. Louis Church. Good luck with that.
We actually need one more winner. We only got one call.
Oh, we only had the one. I thought there was two on the line.
It was two on the line, but he hung up when I came back.
Okay, so 901-360-8255. First caller, 901-360-8255. You get yourself 2 large buckets of balls to go over, hit golf balls at the St. Louis Church. Have a good time. Grab some food over there. They got all things going on, all kinds of things. Wiffle ball contest. They got the cornball contest going on. Wiffle ball games, I should say. They got the cornhole contest going on. They have things for the kids as well. Great food, great drink, good time. St. Louis Church helping out a great cause. So make sure that you get on over there, even if you're not a winner. But the next caller, 901-360-8255. You got yourself 2 large buckets of balls to go over to the St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival. Okay, so it must be a misprint on ESPN. ESPN has...
I see it.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. They have Dariq Whitehead making $3.2 million this year. Now, if you go to Basketball Reference, they don't have him making anything.
And I went to SpotRack, who does a lot of the accuracy work on contracts for teams and players. They don't have them listed at all.
Yeah, it has to be a mistake by ESPN.
Right. They made a few of those because I was looking at some WNBA stuff, and I'm like, this is not right. Just on the ESPN site, so it's whatever the case, you know.
Yeah, I made the mistake going to ESPN for that, but Basketball Reference has it, and he's not listed. So, and therefore, that person who put together that list of 22 players and didn't include him, they probably went to Basketball Reference because that was the more accurate thing. A couple of other tidbits, little notes from the Grizzlies. Saw this yesterday. We don't know the Grizzlies' exhibition schedule yet, but we do know one game because it was listed by the Atlanta Hawks, who released their information. The Grizzlies will play at the Hawks on October 5th. That means Kingston Flemings, the first-round pick, the lottery pick for the Atlanta Hawks out of the University of Houston. But not sure if that will be the first game. I believe it probably will be for the Grizzlies because it's so early in October. But again, we don't have the Grizzlies schedule. That was on the Hawks schedule. Couple of players that will be reportedly playing for the Grizzlies in their Summer League action. Zach Cleveland out of Liberty, signing a Summer League deal, according to reports. And also Brendan Housen, who is from Iowa. He is a very good shooting guard, also expected on the Grizzlies Summer League team, according to reports. From the NBA, Kobe White re-signs with the Hornets, 3 years, $74 million. They still got to figure out what they're doing with the point guard.
I think they're going to roll with him.
You think they're going to go with White?
He's a combo, but he'll be one of those that'll be out there handling the ball for him.
There's a lot of rumors still that they are negotiating with, I don't know if it's true, with Boston.
Yeah. It's a lot of work still left to be done.
There are people that believe the LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards combo in Minnesota will be a disaster. I'm not one of them, but there are some.
I don't think it'll be a disaster, but I don't think of it too seriously. It'll be entertaining, without question.
It will absolutely be entertaining. Mark Williams has re-upped with the Suns, 3 years, $38 million. The Suns, I'll be curious to see what they do free agency-wise, because right now they're just signing all their guys from last year back on the team. Gillespie was signed, Goodwin was signed, and now Mark Williams is signed to come back to Phoenix. Blazers owner Tom Dundon, who's been in the news a lot for all the wrong reasons. You were on the phone yesterday when I talked about Micah Nori and that contract.
I did see. I saw that story yesterday morning, though. I was like, oh, God, here we go.
Did you see the Coaches Association, the reaction?
That's what I read about.
Jamie Bickerstaff, the president. My guess they're not. For those who don't know, Nori is the new coach of Portland, and it's understandable you're going to take a job. There's only so many jobs, 32 jobs in the NBA as head coach, and you may never get this opportunity again. He was a Minnesota assistant. He goes to Portland. They give him, now it's technically a 3-year deal, but only 1 year is guaranteed. It's a team option the second and the third year. He's got 1 year to prove himself with that Portland roster, which is okay, but in the West, it probably puts them in the bottom 3 or 4.
How fast can we get a scandal on Tom Dundon that we can get him out of here like we got Donald Sterling out of here a decade ago?
It's amazing. So many. No, I don't want to say so many. You have your very vocal, loud owners, but a lot of them are actually good. You know, the guys you always hear. You know, Jerry Jones. I guess Eli would be able to better speak on behalf of the Cowboy fandom about Jerry Jones, but I think he's been a pretty damn good owner. Well, what's his name in Dallas, who's trying to get back, but he's not the owner anymore? Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, great owner, great. You know, the players loved him. You know, Robert Kraft, the players love him in New England. Guys that are out there. Then they're the quiet ones. You know, Para. Yeah. They're the invisible ones. And then there's the dudes that are just frauds or crooks. And there have been a number of them.
It's a dumb but
yeah, there have been a number of them. Dundon's just a cheapskate, man. But you're right. Let's see if we find a scandal on him. So here's what Dundon wants. He wants the taxpayers of Portland to cover the full $600 million cost of the team's arena renovations. He says, it feels like we're making a pretty big investment by staying here and paying these tax rates. So he's threatening the taxpayers, the good people of Portland, Oregon. It's basically a veiled threat that we'll leave. We'll take our show on the road. We'll leave. And I don't know if he wants to do that because they may say good riddance. I know there's the Vegas, certainly, Seattle looking at expansion teams. Silver doesn't want any team to leave. It's a veiled threat, but $600 million from the taxpayers, like not a dime.
He's tripping.
Not
hard.
A dime?
He's tripping hard.
Now, I know here we have our situation with the Grizzlies and Para.
He makes Robert Para look like a good guy right now.
Right. But you got state money. You got state money that's going to the funding of FedEx Forum. But you also have an owner that I don't know how much he's throwing in there. It doesn't seem like he is throwing. So it's sort of similar, but not completely similar. Right. Dundon's getting a lot of bad press up there in Portland. I am not probably later on. Maybe I'll get into it a little bit, J-Ham, with you. But yesterday was story after story, reaction after reaction to the latest punking of Caitlin Clark, this time by Alyssa Thomas. I'm really tired. I'm tired of talking about it because it always turns into race. It always turns into something. The areas I just don't want to go in. Just the bottom line is this. And Stephen A. Smith said it best. And Louis Riddick and others said it, man, what are you doing, WNBA? Your commissioner, your officials, your coaches, your players. What the hell are you doing, man? One thing is playing competitive basketball. The other is assaulting a player. Stop it.
Did you see that play like in real time live?
No. I just saw the replay.
It was nothing, Greg.
But down on the ground it was.
It was nothing. It was a bang, bang play that happens all of the time.
J-Ham, here's the thing. They continue to try to kill the goose that laid the golden egg.
They're not killing that girl, Greg. I promise you.
I'm not talking about physically.
No.
I'm talking about metaphorically. If she leaves that league,
they will be fine. They will be fine.
It was never fine.
They will be. I can tell you why it was not fine. When they were on that network, when they left NBC and went to ESPN, what's his name? The guy that he's running TKO now, and he used to run. He never gave the WNBA any love. He was upset with David Stern for going behind his back to get the deal to get the money.
We got to take a break. I'll say this. This has never been an argument about the best player. Caitlin Clark's a great player. She's not the best player. That's not even an argument. And then you look at some of the all-time greats. And I argue with people on Twitter because I know all the all-time greats. I watched them from damn day one. Okay, here's the thing. In 2022, before she joined, I think it was 2022 or 2021. 2022, I think, was the last year before she joined. They averaged 432,000. 432,000. When she joined the league, they averaged, not just her games, the whole league averaged 1.2 million. And in her games, she averaged 2 million viewers. They also moved games from smaller arenas to major arenas to make sure that all the fans had a chance to see her. She is the golden goose. She is the Tiger Woods. She is the Michael Jordan. And anybody who argues that is wrong. They're just flat out wrong.
Have we ever build someone as the golden goose that's never won coming into it, though?
I'm talking about the financial impact now that they're going on chartered flights.
But we're like years past that part now.
Jay, and I don't want to get into it because I'm sorry, and I appreciate you, but I will go on the hill and die on this hill that people are ignorant to the fact that she has done individually, like it or not, this girl has given everything to that league that they didn't have before.
It's well acknowledged, but really what it is that her popularity allowed better players to be exposed to the basketball world. And I'm saying this as a dude who watches the WNBA faithfully and has for 30 years, and that never stopped.
Right. Well, read these stories from Christine Brennan. Listen to what Stephen A. Smith had. Read what Louis Riddick said. People know what's going on.
Stephen A. and Louis Riddick are not watching the WNBA.
It doesn't matter if you're. It doesn't matter if you're watching.
It does matter because it's a lot of stuff that's not falling in the proper context. I promise you, it's not. But we can move on.
Well, you called the play nothing. They ended up suspending her. So they ended up suspending her.
And you should see the outrage about the suspension because it is straight whack. It is garbage, Greg. I promise.
People are taking sides, and it's unfortunately why they're taking sides.
It was an elbow that was also thrown by Leah Boston, who's a teammate.
Oh, they missed things. They missed things too.
And they missed it egregiously.
A shot to the throat on the ground is not part of basketball.
The elbow was far more. That shot to the ground was not even a shot on the ground to the throat.
We'll agree to disagree, my friend. We'll take a break. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
The best clubs never stand still. Colonial Country Club has been an iconic part of Memphis golf for generations. And today, a multi-million-dollar reinvention is reshaping its future. Members enjoy championship golf and family-focused amenities including pickleball, tennis, swimming, fitness, dining, and a vibrant club calendar. History matters. So does what comes next. Membership opportunities are now available. Visit thenewcolonial.com to learn how you can be a part of Colonial's next chapter.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and I may be Mr. Three-Putt and known as the worst golfer in town, but I do sell some houses for people. There are 7 keys to selling your home quickly for a really good price. First, call or email me to find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program that can help you sell your home quickly at a good price. I guide people what to do and what not to do to prepare to beat your competition. I mentioned 7 keys. Well, if you call me first, you don't need the other 6. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Sheldon. I may be the horrible golfer that people talk about, but I don't fool around when it involves your biggest investment. I'm here to provide answers and good advice to help you. You can reach me at 483-0546 or email me at shellrose@memphisrelocate.com. That's right, relocate is in my name. That's shellrose@memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Rockin' Ronnie stepped out, but left me with some amazing deals at Gossett Hyundai South Mount Moriah. How about 2026 Hyundai Elantra SE? We Gossett $198.48 a month. Yeah, $198.48 a month for Hyundai Elantra SE. How about 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE? $269.59 a month. That's right, $269.59 a month for Hyundai Tucson SE. Plus 2026 Hyundai Palisade SEL. $331.82 a month. $331.82 a month for Hyundai Palisade SEL. Plus, you'll get owner's assurance with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So go by and ask for Rockin' Ronnie today at Gossett Hyundai South, 2660 Mount Moriah, or online, GossettHyundaiMountMoriah.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Elantra TU 196.041, MSRP 24,110. Palisade SEL, stock number TU 106,409, MSRP 44,820. Tucson TH 744,261, MSRP 31,350. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good morning. As that volume of traffic increases even more now out here around that 101 connector, be careful over here throughout the day with some on and off road work on I-40 there at Watkins, passing Hollywood and Warford. It's busier than it was 15-20 minutes ago on 240. Well, good morning. As that volume of traffic increases at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:08 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Friday, June 26th, 2026 edition, getting you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston and Jay Ham. Eli is off today. Landon Speck will join us in just a few moments. Then Joe DeLeon at 8:25. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Right now, 78 degrees. Now, I'm looking right now, and it's showing me that there might be some rain in the area, but I'm sure that's just a quick passing shower because the showers are not expected to linger. It's going to be a hot, humid day and fairly overcast, but the chances of rain, 10%. That's it. Tonight, 77 degrees for a low, rather cloudy and humid. The weekend looks to be very nice, although getting a lot hotter. 25% chance of precip tomorrow and 5% Sunday, but sunny, low to mid-90s, and then upper 90s for the early part of next week as we'll be approaching triple digits. Hour number 2 of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your anniversary, engagement, and bridal jeweler headquarters and have been so for 60 years. You're planning on getting engaged? Make sure you check out the beautiful diamond engagement rings at James Gaddis Jewelers, lab-grown, and, of course, the natural earth diamonds. A lot of people going lab-grown now. Beautiful. They're cheaper. But then again, old style never goes out, right? Natural earth diamonds, they have a variety of them. Every year they go to Antwerp in Belgium to get these diamonds. And so that's why James Gaddis Jewelers is got the title of Diamondologist. He is graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. Everything you want as far as credentials are concerned in your jeweler. So for those beautiful diamond engagement rings, wedding rings, personally designed wedding sets, make sure it's James Gaddis Jewelers, and for all your other jewelry needs. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know? Here are the numbers in case you have not seen yet. Numerology for the new Grizzlies Rooks. Cam Boozer will wear number 27. Kareem Lopez, number 35. Richie Saunders, number 5. Boozer said he chose 27 because it was his mother's number when she played college volleyball. Speaking of the Grizzlies, Landon Speck is joining us now. He covers the Memphis Grizzlies for Sports Illustrated, also is reporting on the Tigers on On3 Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at Landon Speck2, and he joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Landon.
Hey, Greg. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. You got a lot going on right now, even though it's the so-called, I'm using the air quotes, off season. Never an off season for sports, never seemingly an off season for basketball. Your impressions of what the Grizzlies were able to pull off in the draft?
I think it went pretty well. I think it was very clear what Zach Kleiman wanted to do in terms of the identity of the 26-27 Grizzlies. I think everyone can agree, say what you want about Dylan Brooks. Ever since he's been gone, this team's been lacking a certain physicality and a certain edge to it that obviously has been there in the past in Memphis. And I think Kleiman went into this draft, and you can see it in the 2 guys he drafted in the first round, and then also Isaiah Stewart, who he traded for from Detroit. I think when you add those 3 players, it's very clear he wanted guys that are going to go into the game, and he's trying to, you know, when teams come into FedEx Forum, they're going to hate playing there.
Exactly.
Just because of the Grizzlies team they're walking into. And I think that was the goal, and I think he hit the nail on the head there. And I think that, you know, when you go back to the lottery, when they hit the 3rd pick, most people figured that it was going to be Cam Boozer at that number 3 pick. And that's always been the persona of Boozer as a player, is he's this 6'9", 250-pound power forward that plays with that physicality. So I think, and then he's your centerpiece. So I think they had a couple months to understand who they're going to be building their team around. And I think based on with Kareem Lopez and Stewart, who they went out and got to go around him, I think he did a good job of understanding just what he wanted to do. And I mean, they accomplished it. With the Lopez situation, obviously they had 16 and they end up moving down 5 spots and pick up 2 extra seconds and Stewart just to move down 5. And it seemed like that Lopez is who they wanted the whole time. So I don't think the process of it could have gone any better.
It makes sense. The most success they've had as a franchise is during the grit and grind era. Unfortunately, with the talent that they had for the next gen era, it did not work out, and many of the issues were, of course, because of injuries. But why not go back to something that you've done and were successful with? And we are a blue-collar city, right? We are grit and grind. I know some people get tired of that, but it is who we are. It is who this team is. So it does make sense to go back to that. You hit it on the head, I think, when you said you want teams to come in here and know when they leave, win or lose, that they paid the price. And that's what I think the Grizzlies' identity will be, again, moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when they made the Stewart trade and I first saw that news, I was like, yeah, of course. Like, who else would play for the Grizzlies other than that guy?
And he's on a good contract.
He's on a great contract, and you only and they gave us a 3 second-round pick they had gotten from Detroit in the night before to get him. I mean, it's almost like they got him for free, is what it feels like. And so, I mean, kudos to Kleiman on that move. I know he gets his fair share of criticism from some parts of Grizzlies fandom, but I think just the entire process, we'll obviously have to wait and see on the results. We'll have to see how these players pan out and see what they do. But for the people out there who love the process of it all, I don't think the Grizzlies could have done any better. And I think too, this has just been such an exciting week for the Grizzlies. I mean, I wasn't at the draft party on Tuesday night for the first round, but from the videos I saw, it looked like everybody in there was just so happy. Everybody was fired up to add Cam Boozer. Because as we know, the top 3 or 4 picks in this draft, everybody's known the whole time you're about to add a guy to your franchise. Right. That just has a chance to change everything. And this is the first time we got to see his name called. Obviously, we had the press conference yesterday showing the jersey numbers and hearing him talk. So I think it's just all starting to feel very real this week, which has generated a real excitement throughout the fan base.
Well, look, the fans are dying for something positive after the year that they went through and that team went through last year. There was nothing positive about last year. So even just the draft picks, the excitement of that, nice crowd on hand, that's fantastic. But look, the proof will be in the pudding. They got a long way to go. This roster right now has to be fixed. They have to tweak it. They have to make some more moves. We don't know yet about Ja. And going forward, even with these young players, it looks like they're making a step in the right direction. But let's be honest, they're not ready to battle San Antonio. They're not ready to battle Oklahoma City. They got a ways to go. You wrote about your projections on the team right now and then looking into your crystal ball, a couple of moves that may be made as what the rotation could be. Now, it doesn't take into consideration who they may pick up in a trade. But your thought process, Landon, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that Ja's traded, which most people believe will still happen, and that KCP will be dealt. Is that your expectation?
Yeah, but when he opted into his contract, it was a $21 million player option. So for him, it was a no-brainer because the last 2 seasons, KCP has not been a player that is worth that whatsoever. He got a 3-year deal with Orlando following the 23-24 season with Denver, where he spent 2 years there and was great. Signs with Orlando, and he's been through the first 2 years of that 3-year deal. He has 1 year left on it, and he just hasn't lived up to the expectations and the money he's being paid. And I mean, obviously, because of that, he's sort of like Ja. I mean, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison, but he's sort of like Ja in that if you trade him, he's not a positive value asset. So it's not like there's teams knocking down at the door to trade for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. If there's a trade, it would more likely be a salary filler, or he would just be used as a part to match any money. Now, I also wrote that maybe a buyout could be possible. There's multiple avenues in getting off of that contract. But, and this is just me talking, really. I don't have any intel on this or anything. I just, reading the tea leaves, I just think it makes sense if the team moves on from him in whatever way that looks like. Well, now, exactly what that will look like, I'm not sure. But it just feels likely that he won't be here, along with Ja.
Yeah, and I said trade because, again, I don't see them eating a $21 or $22 million contract. Yeah. They're not one to do that. If they have to eat maybe Taj Gibson's at less than $1 million, that's one thing. But I don't think and I believe it's a player option, right, with Taj, or am I wrong? Is that a team option?
I believe it is. It's either a team option or just a straight 2-year deal. I don't think it's a player option, though.
Right. Okay. But either way, there's not, I don't think, a complete willingness to eat that kind of money. That's a lot of money to eat. So I think that would be either a trade or he's still going to be a part of this team. But even with that said, there's so many things that have to happen. First of all, they have to figure out, because they weren't able to and I don't know if the thought process was, even though we've heard rumors that Zach Kleiman wanted to move up in the draft for that second first-round pick and to get maybe one of those guards and was unable to do so. And when their pick came around at 16, they weren't enamored with the second tier of guards, point guards that was there, so they focused on Kareem Lopez, and the rest is history. So with them not being able to do anything as far as that, there are still a number of guys who play point that are on this team that are under contract outside of Ja. We still have Scottie Pippen coming back from injury. Ty Jerome's a combo guard with one more year left on his contract. What's the future hold for him, and does it even happen in Memphis? You have guys that they like Cam Spencer and Javon Small. But to me, it doesn't seem like any of those guys, except for maybe Jerome as a combo, is that point guard of the future that they want. So they didn't entertain that. Where do they go from there, and what are the prospects right now with Ja Morant, knowing that it's more than likely going to cost them some draft picks?
Yeah, so I think a lot of fans going into the draft were hoping that the Grizzlies would move up from 16 for a guard. Obviously, the guard class this year was stacked. Me and Parker Fleming does a great job covering the team. We had a little back and forth about it on Twitter, talking about the trade up, and this was after the fact. And I told him I always thought that if the Grizzlies moved up from that spot at 16, that it was probably going to be for more front court depth. And I put up a final mock before the first round on Tuesday, and I actually projected them moving up a few spots to 13 for Morez Johnson Jr., who ended up going 9th overall to Dallas, which was higher than I thought he would go.
That was the Dusty May factor, right?
Dusty May factor, 100%. It was crazy that actually he had a pick of Johnson, Mara, and Yatza Lendeborg, and he went with Morez, who was projected to be the third out of those three. But crazy how that happened.
Right.
So, when you looked at the roster before the draft, yes, if Ja's out, they need a guard. But even when you added Cam Boozer and you looked at it, you say, okay, we have Cam Boozer and Zach Edey as starters. At this point, they still didn't have Isaiah Stewart, and then this is the pick they used to get Kareem Lopez. That front court was still really shallow. So I expected the whole time for them to use both of these picks to shore up the front court, and sure enough, that's what they did. And now looking into the future, Simon said at his post first round availability Tuesday night that they feel good with the group of guards they have, and I think in the short term for just this season, I don't think that's ridiculous, because like you said, Ty Jerome is a capable point guard. We'll see, if they extend him or, maybe flip him at the deadline this season with him on the sparring, depending on how the season's going, of course. But when you have him and Scottie Pippen Jr., obviously we've seen the caliber of basketball Pippen can play, just based on what he did at the end of the 24-25 season, end of the playoffs. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Grizzlies are going to count on those two guys plus Cam Spencer, Javon Small, Walter Clayton for the future, because I think everyone agrees that's probably not the route to go. So we'll see what they do. I mean, that might be something they address in next year's draft. But even if Ja is out of the picture, I could just see them rolling with and Spencer, the group of guards they have for a year. Because you got to remember, they're still, although we want to make this thing quick, this is still year one of this entire rebuild, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not expecting them to trade Ja and then immediately replace them with their point guard of the future all this summer.
No, that's a really good point. As I mentioned at the outset, Landon covers the Grizzlies for SI. He also covers the Tigers for On3 Memphis. We don't have a lot of time, and we're going to talk to you in future visits subsequently about the Tigers, the breakdown of the football team and the hoops team. But what was your initial thoughts when Penny went out, used that 15th roster spot, brought in a professional, a 24-year-old Popovic, who is a Serbian playing professional in Poland, playing professional in the Adriatic League? What do you think that does to the team with really a nice mixture of older guys and younger guys?
Yeah, so, last time I was on here, we talked about the big man position in general, because they were still going out trying to find, I believe, the 14th guy. And I said, there isn't that many options out there. It's a thin group of big men you can go get. And I think with this last spot, I think Penny got is about as creative as he could have. And it was probably about the best they could have done when looking for another big, which they desperately needed, because you looked up before they added Popovic and it was looking grim, if we're being honest. I mean, Cornelius Williams, I think, is a legit player, but once you get past him, it felt sort of like last year, where it was like, man, like what are we really doing here with these front court guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, Popovich, the thing that sticks out to me is he's been playing pro basketball since 2018. That's 7 years of pro ball, and he'll be 25 during the season when he has his 25th birthday. So yeah, I mean, I think that's just the game we're in college basketball now. Obviously, we're bringing in these foreign guys who are playing in pro leagues overseas, who are older, and I don't think this can do anything but benefit the Tigers. I mean, it's something they desperately needed, and this was about the best you could possibly do, especially this late in the process. And it doesn't surprise me that Penny wouldn't use that 15th spot. Maybe a little earlier than I anticipated, but I always figured that spot would be filled.
Yeah, it's interesting. As soon as it came out of his mouth that more than likely I'm going to hold on to my 15th spot, you knew something was going to happen. It ended up materializing. Yeah. But yeah, it's as long as the chemistry's there, there's no jealousies of what guys are making, which goes for every program in the country, and everybody's on the same page, and you stay relatively healthy, you have a chance. I'm not saying that the group of 6 and smaller schools in smaller conferences have legitimate shots to win natties, but certainly from a competitive standpoint, you know, Memphis could dominate the American and should get back to that if everything goes according to plans. They have the most money to spend. They went out there. I think he did a really good job in being able to go and find players in areas where they were whether there was a deficit last year, let's just say, 3-point shooting, physicality underneath the basket, guys that could play with their backs to the basket, and really overall general 3-point shooting and really point guard distribution. I think we had in Doug McDaniel, we had a guy I think that was more shooting than passing. I think the guy, Jaden Reed's going to probably be more of a facilitator, I believe. So I think he did a really good job, Landon, in going out and getting not only good talented players, but to fulfill needs that they had from last year. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. Football, of course, we've talked to you about that. We'll do that in the future as well. There's a lot of expectation for that. But you're going to be a busy man covering both the Tigers for On 3 and the Grizzlies for SI, and we look forward to having you on the program, hopefully on a weekly basis, starting with the football season. But Landon, great stuff as always. Make sure to follow Landon on Twitter at LandonSpec2. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg. Looking forward to doing it again.
Thank you, Landon. Take care. Good stuff. Landon Speck. Remember that name. I think he's a mover. He's a guy I think is going to be a terrific journalist moving forward in his career. Folks, take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis, a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback with hands-on one-on-one expert coaching. 2 locations in Collierville, the original at 85 Market Street at 901-316-5500. Basically, they have the shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology. That's it in Collierville. They also have a lot of volleyball players. That's something you want to check out as well. But the big one in Cordova, the 50,000 square foot facility, has every single thing. That's on Big Orange Road. That number is 901-779-3176. Again, you get the great one-on-one expert coaching. You get the analytical feedback every time you step into one of these shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology. You'll become a better shooter, a better all-around basketball player. You have a chance to become that next high school star, maybe that next college star. If repetition needs to be a part of your arsenal. And if you can do that, I think you're going to get better and better. And you can certainly do that with that repetition at Shoot 360 Memphis. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. Joe DeLeon is next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey Memphis, Kayla Clement from Memphis Softball. You work hard for your money, so choose a financial team that works just as hard for you. Southern Security Credit Union offers great rates, personal service, and a local touch you can trust. Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 to join today. Southern Security Credit Union, your home team credit union, is a proud supporter of the Memphis Athletics and 901 Women and is federally insured by the NCUA.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of Cashew Crunch, of Heavenly Hash, of Turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good morning. It's busy trying to get up through Midtown right now. Pretty much on schedule. 240 north here at Lamar. TDOT's wrapping up a couple of accidents out here. It remains busy with that volume over here on 240, especially between Walnut Grove and Poplar. It's heavier than it was 15, 20 minutes ago. Coming inbound on Sam Cooper, especially right when you come off the interstate. Hey, check out the animals that are available for adoption right now at the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Just log on to memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:31, halfway home on this Friday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Getting you set for the sports weekend. Every Friday at this time, we talk football and other things with our friend Joe DeLeon.
Time now to talk about the college football weekend and look ahead with Joe DeLeon, co-host of the Ruffino and Joe Show, covering college football and the NFL draft at A to Z Sports. Here's Joe DeLeon with Greg and Eli.
Rocks! He is Joe DeLeon. You can follow him on Twitter at Joe DeLeon. As I mentioned, he joins us every Friday. Good morning, Joe. Joe, you there?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you. How are you?
Oh, there we go. That's odd. I'm traveling today, so I don't know if the hotel that I'm in is a little bit off.
No, you're good right now. Appreciate it, man. You're the traveling man when you get a chance, right?
Not that often, but during the off season, I try to a little bit. I'm actually in the state of Tennessee today. I'm in Nashville today.
Oh, really? Okay. Work or pleasure?
A little bit of both. Dean Blake, my co-host for the Ruffino and Joe Show, we came to hang out and link up, but we're also going to the 24/7 offices and stuff and meeting up with our bosses. So it's gonna be a nice couple of days.
Very nice. Okay, so the 5 for 5 has been enacted. First of all, do you like that?
I do. I do think that it was a necessary rule in order to calm a lot of the issues with all of the waivers and the red shirts. And I understand that there's naturally going to be an audience that is a little bit against the fact that it doesn't allow for players to be able to, in very specific circumstances, to appeal and to try and have eligibility for whatever those extenuating circumstances might be. But taking away the waivers is only going to make it a lot easier. It's only going to allow for this system going forward for there to be less lawsuits. I think that the best part about this, though, is that we didn't need to have guys that were well over the age of 23 sticking around and playing. College athletics should be reserved for players and athletes that are around the age of 19, somewhere in that range. It shouldn't be a circumstance for guys that are 24, 25 that played JUCO ball and then sued their way into an extra year of eligibility. It really shouldn't operate like that.
So here in Memphis with basketball, they just brought in a pro from Serbia, Popovic. And if I'm not mistaken, he's 24 years old. And now this has been enacted in the last, I don't know, couple of days, right? But he is, I believe, he's eligible. There's no issues. Why is he eligible?
From my understanding, I do think that previous athletes that came in before they enacted the rule's not going to come into effect until 2027. So I do believe that the main intention is to allow for athletes to be grandfathered in. Otherwise, we would have a million different situations where athletes would be very additional lawsuits. And if I recall correctly, Daniel Heitner, who is...
I was just going to bring him up. Yeah.
He does a lot of lawsuits. I haven't dug into his recent lawsuit, but he has been involved in a lot of lawsuits that are pertaining to college athletics. So, there are now already an opportunity for athletes that are in this new suit to sue in order to make sure that they have eligibility because they're kind of outside of the parameters of the 5-for-5.
Well,
It's almost so muddled, and I don't know if we're going to get real established consistency with the eligibility stuff. It's kind of like when COVID happened, where there was an extra year of eligibility given, and then for the 5 years after, it was just a total, utter mess for how does this guy still have eligibility? How does this guy have another year? How is this guy still playing? And now we're kind of getting past that. We're getting the wave of the former pro athletes from Europe and stuff that are coming and playing college basketball. I think once the 5-for-5 is official, that is when we'll start to have some consistency, and I think that we can feel a little bit more normal.
Well, it was an S show, let's be honest. So was COVID an S show. But here's the thing, and I didn't know until you just said a moment ago that it's going to be starting in 2027. I mean, I thought this thing was going to be starting right away, and here's why. Heitner, in his latest lawsuits with a bunch of players, the reason why they are suing is players that just wrapped up their fourth year, because it was 4 years, right? Some got 5 because of the COVID, but some wrapped up 4 years. They are denied. They can't come back and get a 5th year. But players that are going into their senior year, athletes that are going in their senior year this year, will get another year. So Heitner, is suing on their behalf. What he's saying is the NCAA drew the eligibility exclusion line exactly at the class of 2022. And we know when things are enacted, they got to start somewhere, and they're going to affect everybody a bit differently at the start, right? And then it will all iron out. He says the class that spent 4 years competing against COVID-era 5th and 6th year seasons, players who got a 5th or a 6th season, that then watched former pro players be deemed eligible. That's what we're fighting for, to get their 5th year.
And I think that to a degree is kind of fair for that one group. Where when I didn't fully read into it, but I did because there was just so much. When that rule went through, there were also a million other new rules that were being proposed, like the changes to the off-season schedule to like an OTA style off-season. Sure. There were so many different things, and I've seen Heitner's post regarding all the information that you just did outline, but I kind of understood it as what you just said here. They're the one class that kind of does have a right. I'm not for more lawsuits, but they are the one class that does have a right because of everything that they've been through. The one class that when they stepped in when they were 18-year-olds, they're dealing with these dudes that are 24, 25 years old because they had that extra year of COVID eligibility, which is something that they should have phased out, but it still stuck around as long as it did. And to the other point, there's like now these waves of professional athletes. I'm hoping that, and this is going to require the advancement of the Protect College Sports Act, I believe, because I don't think that it had anything about pro sports. I really don't think that athletes that played pro sports in other countries should be eligible and should be able to play. For those that don't really know, it's something that's pretty heavy in like soccer. It's pretty heavy in hockey. There are a lot of sports where guys will go play multiple years of minor league sports, professional sports in these like mid-tier leagues in other countries. And then they'll come over when they're like 22, 23 years old. Then they'll compete. And then after that, then they'll move on. Like, I've never understood how that was something that was possible. When I was playing football at Rhode Island, it was really confusing me where I'm sitting in class with a guy on the soccer team. I'm like, oh, like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Iceland. Oh, cool. What year did you graduate? Oh, I graduated high school 4 years ago. And it's like, why is this spot not going to a local Rhode Island kid who, even if the team's not as good, like, the team would benefit more and that kid would benefit more from an opportunity to play college athletics. So those things should be reserved for people it doesn't matter if he's coming from another country or not, but they should be reserved for people that are coming out of high school.
But, Joe, nobody produces better football players than Iceland. Come on.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, millions of them. So, all right. Okay. That's one issue that's confusing. Now let's get to the fun. Let's get to the Protect College Sports Act. And I'm sure you've read Ross Dellinger, who said that with what they have now in this bill, which they haven't presented it yet to the Senate to vote and then on to the House, most people believe it'll pass through the Senate and then die in the House. I hope it dies a very ugly death, because while I think the Congress, and I have no problem with them getting involved to a certain extent to have laws to keep everything in check. Unfortunately, sports has gotten out of hand. Collegiate sports has gotten out of hand. They, I think, have gone way too far in trying to control everything. And Dellinger writes about conference realignment. And he said, with this bill, it crystallizes Power League membership, freezing out G6. And he mentions ACC programs hoping for promotion, because there's always those rumors about some of those ACC powers that could move on if the SEC or the Big Ten wanted to expand. But that could be, if it passes, that will be in the bill more than likely, unless all of a sudden they pull it out, Joe. So he said there's a new shot clock on accelerated expansion talks, according to one athletics director. I don't know how or why anybody would add right now in the power conferences, like in a just real quick over the next couple of years. So in that sense, if that bill gets passed, it'll override anything or everything. What do you think about that bill being passed? And what if it got passed? What is your thoughts about preventing any more expansion, which could affect G6 schools like the University of Memphis that's trying to get into a power conference?
Yeah, and we've discussed this at length. I feel like it's been like a real sticking point for us when we have talked about this when I've come on your show. It has never made sense to me why congressional involvement was a part of conference realignment and expansion, and why it's also been a part of the broadcasting deals. I understand that government involvement to a degree happens in industries, but this is not an industry that needs it. I think that conference realignment is being misunderstood as something that creates unbalanced, unchecked power, when in reality, conference realignment's been happening since the inception of college sports. And for every instance where a conference has gotten bigger, there are plenty of conferences that have realigned and different teams have joined. Teams are swapped and moved around all the time. I also think that the other part with this that is kind of silliness, while it's deemed like, oh, these conferences some of them are getting bigger and they're getting stronger and whatnot. Sometimes, as bad as it was for the Pac-12, everything that happened with the Pac-12 or the devolvement of the Big East, certain conferences are just not run properly. And sometimes if conferences aren't run properly, just like any industry, they need to be held accountable to the degree where if their members want to leave and go somewhere else, they should be allowed to. Teams should not be stuck in bad situations because they theoretically have bad leadership or everybody else around them is not as motivated and involved. That to me has always been like the biggest and dumbest part with all of this. And when we look at for the lower level teams and the G6 teams and the motivated G6 teams, well, that is absolutely a major concern, especially for fans of the University of Memphis. It's also what has created all the problems and why this isn't going to pass at the higher level for the Big Ten and the SEC, because even though they don't really have an aspiration to expand further, they don't want to be told what to do. And my biggest understanding with all this, and the dumbest part and the hubris of it, all comes back to Cody Campbell. The hubris of all this is like trying to but completely shut down the Big Ten and SEC from doing whatever they want and pissing them off.
Mm-hmm.
They now have the ability to influence if this bill goes through. This is the one thing that I think has just naturally been like a little bit almost misunderstood, because at times I was wondering to myself, like, well, what if this bill does go through? The SEC and the Big Ten has a lot of political weight. They really do. There are legal members in the states of these schools in the SEC and the Big Ten that are smart enough to know that they shouldn't pass something if there's a school in their state, because it would anger their fans, and it also could damage a relationship that they might have with the commissioner of those conferences. Those schools are major for those economies. So I think that like that's the one part with this is like if that's removed, if the conference stuff and the pulling of media rights is removed, this thing would soar. It would fly through and get passed because everybody agrees on those core principles. Nobody agrees on the conference realignment and pulling the media rights.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Sankey's been in Washington. I think he was yesterday, and I think he's still there today. But, yeah, we're in complete agreement. All right, a couple of other things, Joe, before we let you go. The Division I Football Oversight Committee proposing some changes. I'm sure you saw those. For those who don't know, basically 3 changes. They want to shorten the portal window from 15 to 10. They also have proposed 2 out-of-season practice sessions, basically OTAs during the spring instead of the one big spring session where you get the 15 workouts. They're talking about a total of 5 weeks, I think, for a total of 21 practices. Currently, it's 15 practices, so it would be more, but it would be more like OTAs. And then I think they're trying to shorten also practice in camp. Once camp opens up in August, they want to shorten the amount of practices for that. What do you think about those changes, and do you think they'll pass?
Yeah, I think that they will, because I think the coaches have kind of gotten to the point where they understand that the sport needs to evolve. I think that even though the spring portal was shut down and closed, having more off-season involvement with athletes and with players is something that's needed. I've never understood it. It was kind of archaic that coaches weren't allowed to have off-season involvement with players in different periods of time. I feel like the sport in general you see it, the best programs are obviously very technically sound and developed, but across the sport, there are a lot of programs where with transfers and new guys coming in every single year, that they're not as refined as they possibly could be. So having more on-field opportunities, I think, is going to help that. I'm kind of indifferent on the removal of contact and like lessening of contact, because hitting more is absolutely important. And I think that it's always misunderstood and just assumed that less contact is better for the long-term health of athletes, when in reality, you need to condition your body. Your body needs to be able to withstand the physical contact. It's kind of why we see a lot more, I think, soft tissue injuries and injuries in general in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that having, for the younger guys compared to the older guys in the NFL that need different types of conditioning, it's just better to be on the field and to be able to learn in that setting while you're out there, while you're talking to coaches, to go through the motions, to work on like the little things. When you're doing position drills, you don't really need to be hitting. You know, if you're doing DBs, to work on your drops and to work on your hands, all those things, like your linebacker to understand your keys and, focusing on reading offensive linemen. The one position groups that gets it being a little tough is O-line, D-line. But I think that this stuff is great. I think that it should pass. And then based on the clamoring of coaches, I think that this is going to be one of those things where it's just a resounding agreement that, hey, we should have done this a while ago.
All right, last thing, got about a minute. We know that players have gone to the G League and have gone back to college. The whole situation, which really has gotten a little bit out of control. We had the draft on Tuesday and Wednesday night. The Clippers in the second round took a player with the 57th pick, and he left. He said, thanks, but no thanks, and he's now with Auburn. Knowing that he can make more money, I'm sure, with Auburn, knowing that maybe there wasn't a spot on the Clippers team for him. But now it almost feels unfair to the NBA. If you go ahead and you take a pick, and I know late second-round picks, they're not always going to work out, and there's not always a spot for them. But you go ahead as an NBA team, this guy stays in the draft, he's in the draft, you pick him, You think he's yours, and then he leaves to go back to college to Auburn. That's weird.
Yeah, I get that it's weird, but at the same time, like, he probably would have just gotten buried on their G League affiliate, and then he, more likely than not, a lot of these second-round guys just get bounced out, and they end up.
No, I understand. I'm kind of like tongue-in-cheek here, but it's still the NBA. I mean, they're the big behemoths and all that, and I care about the kids, but it's like, all right, we did some work on this guy. We did some homework. That's the guy we're going to take. And then he leaves. Once you're in the draft, to me, back in the old days, once you're in the draft, you're in the draft. Right. I'm sorry, but that is, that's out the door now with everything that's going on as far as eligibility to get back to college. Of course, now you're getting paid. You're going to make a bigger payday, and if you can do it, you're going to go ahead and do it. Listen, have fun in Nashville. I know it's work and pleasure, but have a good time.
Yep.
He is Joe DeLeon. Man, he is everywhere. Of course, we talk to him each and every Friday on the program. You can follow him on Twitter at Joe DeLeon. He's the host of the Ruffino and Joe Show on 247 Sports, college football, NFL draft for A to Z Sports NFL. He is Joe DeLeon. We'll talk to you next week, Joe.
Thanks, Craig. Have a good one.
You too. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Great option today for lunch or for dinner. It's always a great option to head to Corky's. Maybe bring the family this weekend to one of their 4 local locations. Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, Goodman Road in Olive Branch. And if you have an event coming up you want it catered, let Corky's cater it for you. They've been around for 40-plus years. They've been catering that entire time. They can start you out as low as $7.99 per person. When you head over for lunch or for dinner, add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99 when you purchase your entree, your barbecue sandwich, maybe your award-winning catfish plate. But again, you can get that third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99. They got lunch specials every day. Party packs starting at just $7.99. And if you want it delivered to your home or office, they'll deliver in the metropolitan Memphis area for $3.99. That's their set cost. Very cheap. If you want to go with the DoorDashes of the world and all that, you can do that as well. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
At Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, it's the Volkswagen Driver Days event, and it's drivers wanted. If you're looking for sporty, we Gossett 2026 Jetta S. Just $249 a month, $249 a month for Jetta S. Luxury just got a new definition in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Now $269 a month. Brand new Tiguan S, $269 a month. And right now, Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike's got 2026 Atlas SE, only $329 a month. That's only $329 a month for a brand new Atlas SE. Ready for a new ride? We got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, 1875 Covington Pike, or shop online anytime at GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Atlas TC 564,681, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer in 6/30/26 dealer stock only.
For those that watch the stock market, the real estate market also has its watchers, like me, Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. Right now I'm seeing the listing inventory increasing and the contracts and closings not keeping up, which puts us in what is labeled as a buyer's market. That is why it is extremely critical that you obtain the best advice and expertise when you're considering the sale of your home. And that is what I do. To make your home a sweet spot, where buyers are drawn to you like bees to honey, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure I am one of them. Find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program that can help you sell your home quicker at a better price. Remember what people often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon. Call me at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's right, relocate is in my name. memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/promo and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/promo to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:54 is the time. Got some text to read. We'll open up hour 3, by the way, with 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Robert Miller will join us in studio at 9:30, the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. What is the future of golf, professional golf, here in Memphis? We will talk to Robert about that. Reggie texts in 901-360-8255. He said the face of the team, talking about the Grizzlies, should be earned, not appointed. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I wasn't saying that they're appointing him, but more than likely a guy who was the 3rd overall pick in the NBA draft and has all the possibilities of being a really, really good player will probably earn his way to become the face of the team. But, Coward certainly, I think, is going to be a star. I would not be surprised down the road Cedric Coward's an all-star. Yeah. Edey, of course. But Reggie's right. Yeah, the face of the team should be earned, not appointed. Couple of other things on Caitlin Clark. From the 901, people are just jealous of Caitlin Clark. You either like her or you hate her. Max says, Greg is wrong about the WNBA. He said, Caitlin Clark came in when charter flights and pay raises were already on the table. That's why the CBA expired with virtually all players as free agents. Clark sped up expansion because she has a mega fan base. Here we go. Let's get into the politics. No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. The TV viewership, which dictates a lot of things financially for a league, right? This league did not do well even in the years of all the great players like the Cheryl Swoops and the Lisa Leslies and on and on and on, Cynthia Coopers. I mean, I watch the game. I don't watch it like J-Ham does, but 400,000 to 500,000 viewers per game. That's what they got the year before. They got a lot less even before that. That was the year before Clark. During Clark's first season, 1.54 million viewers. With her games, 2.1 million viewers on average. I'm just reading you stats. This is not an opinion. This is just stats. Raider Corey says, guys, I was listening to the Clark discussion. We've had NBA fans who have admitted they've stopped watching or attending because they didn't see people like them playing. Now comes a great talent in Clark, and some people only cheer and support her because of her race. It's past time to be better, America. Watch and enjoy the game without stupid biases. Raider Corey is absolutely right. 100%, man. Judge somebody on their talents. But again, you got to look at what we're seeing. And to me, the WNBA is thriving. I don't know why there's this Caitlin Clark effect. To me, she's not my favorite player, but there's so much talent in the league now. The league has become such a better product. But again, coincidence, or they just loved her three-point shooting? I don't know what it is. She happens to be white.
She's not even a great three-point shooter. This is the funny part about it, but I'll digress.
Yeah, I mean, she's still up there, and she takes a lot of shots, and she's a high-volume shooter. And, yeah, I've never said she was the best player by any stretch of the imagination. But again, there's no denying. Tiger came in as black.
He won.
And changed, yeah. Well, yeah. But I mean, he changed the game because he made it cool to play golf.
Second or third, it wouldn't have hit. he won.
Well, yes and no. I think Tiger Woods, this good-looking, tall African-American guy, came in and he made it cool for everybody other than just white males to play the game, and now everybody plays golf. It's Tiger Woods. We had Bird and Magic, who just took the NBA to another level, and then Michael took it to an even higher level. There are some trailblazers. Those guys happen to be, the greats. Caitlin Clark is a very good player. Maybe when it's all said and done, she'll be a great player, but she is a trailblazer. And if people don't admit that, then I think there's either being biased, prejudice, as Raider Corey alluded to, or they're not educated on the facts. I mean, I got Mac telling me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm just reading everything that has been put out there. Read Christine Brennan, what she had to say yesterday.
She has a very biased arc and always has to this topic.
She does, and I don't like her. I do not read her, but I read her on this. Stephen A. Smith, again, I could take him or leave him, but I'll tell you, sometimes
you don't even watch the product.
I don't even think you have to watch the product to see what's going on.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it's best to watch the product to fully know what's going on for all the context. That's my point.
People aren't talking, but they're not talking about the product. They're not talking about the play on the court. They're talking about that these women now are having all the luxury of what professional men have. And the reason is because of her.
If they're saying she's being unfairly officiated and targeted, I call BS on that. Now, the hard part about this is that a single game record was set last night by Marina Mabrey, and she's not even being mentioned.
Right.
And that's insane.
Right.
I watched that live, and she was on a flat out.
And she should get her accolades. But let me tell you something. If Clark somehow went to Europe, those numbers are going down.
Because without her last year, when she didn't play but 13 games, those numbers continue to spike. Their playoff numbers with her not there went up. They were set records there. The finals numbers.
Well, just because she's hurt doesn't mean they're all going to go plummeting into the gutter.
But she's not there. She's
Text
not playing.
from the 901. Caitlin Clark resonates with the people due to her style of game. It's like Steph Curry, the Steph Curry effect, because these days the three-point shot and pace of play is what a lot of the youngsters gravitate to. To some regard.
Only thing that's similar is a deep three that she doesn't shoot nearly as well. It's not just Steph, but as Marina Mabrey, as Sabrina Ionescu, as Kelsey Plum. She doesn't shoot the ball as well.
I know, but you keep bringing up, and I agree with you, she's not the best player. I don't think people are arguing that she's the best player. She's just the player they want to watch. For whatever reason, they want to watch her. They want to watch her. Just like, why do all these animated movies make the money that they make? Because people with the kids, they gravitate toward them. They could have an animated piece of snot and a boogie, and that thing would make millions and millions at the box office. For whatever reason, some love her three-point shooting, some love her, I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe some of it because she's white. I don't know, but there's been white players in the league and black players in the league, Hispanic players in the league for years. This is a 901 text. Says, Greg, you're right. She's the WNBA cash cow. No one was watching WNBA before her. How was she not on? Well, the 30th year poster is weird. Somebody told me that maybe there's had something to do with the legal rights to use her image, but also there were other great players that weren't used. Sue Bird wasn't used. There was other ones on that poster. That was a weird thing, that poster. But anyway, look, it is I'll tell you one thing, though, J-Ham. All the talk about her, all the talk, even if it's the negative stuff about whether or not people are going after her, and I think there is some jealousy. There's jealousy in everything in this world. Everything. There's some jealousy, and women can be petty. Let's be honest here. But it's bringing notoriety. It's bringing exposure to this product. More and more people are like, all right, let me watch the WNBA. So I don't think it hurts that in the long run. We got to take a break. 9:02 the time. When we come back, it's all about 10 in a row. Jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now at 901-360-8255. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Landers Ford in Collierville is celebrating America 250 during our Landers 250 event. We're out to sell 250 specially selected new Fords, even new Ford F-150s. Employee pricing for all, plus Ford retail bonus cash. $6,000 for new 2025 Ford F-150 XLT trims. $5,000 for new 2025 Ford F-150 STX trim, or $3,500 for new 2025 Ford F-150 Platinum, Lariat, or King Ranch trim. That's right, employee pricing for all at the #1 Ford dealer in the Mid-South, Landers Ford in Collierville. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. New F-150s with employee pricing for all. Act now. 250 new Fords will sell fast. Give us a call to schedule your test drive today. Landers Ford in Collierville. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2025 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report. Memphis Market. Employee pricing is a Ford A-Plan pricing program. U.S. residents only. Prior purchase is not eligible. Other exclusions may apply. See dealer for complete details. Price plus tax, title, and license. Offer includes $695 processing fee. Offer ends 7/6/26.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
Not only are Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar the best places in town for breakfast or lunch, they're also two of the best places to get a cup of joe in Memphis. Sunrise has all the standard coffee choices with latte, espresso, cappuccino, Americano, and Wiseacre cold brew. But Sunrise brings something to the table that other coffee shops just don't offer. At either Sunrise location, you can get those coffee selections with something special. Hooch! At Sunrise, you can get the usual shots, but you can also get Kahlua or Irish cream. Tell that to your barista.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get America's best bagged vehicles with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. All remaining 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross and 2025 Mitsubishi Outlanders, now $6,000 off MSRP. 2026 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport ES with standard super all-wheel control. Buy for $27,105 or $349 per month. Plus, 2026 Mitsubishi Outlander ES. Standard 7-seat capacity versus 5-seat Nissan Rogue and Honda CR-V. Buy for $30,310 or $399 a month. Plus, Tennessee residents get an additional $1,000 off all 26 Outlander Sports. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1956 Covington Pike. Online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
84 months at 5.99 APR. Outlander TZO 2861. MSRP 32,810. Sport TU 101 MSRP 28,985. Includes all rebates in the NSPF 895. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
We check it out live, passing Germantown Parkway all the way down to Sycamore View Road. It's crowded. Certain sections of Sam Cooper, especially right when you come off the interstate. They're coming inbound on Sam Cooper, heavier than it was 15-20 minutes ago, up through the Midtown area, 240 north here at Lamar. Hey, bridal season is here. Shop local today, and you'll be glad you did because you always save money when you go there first to Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Everyone, 9:08 the time. Final hour for us today and this week here on Sports 56 Mornings. the Friday, June 26th, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Jay Ham. Eli is off today. We are live and local, broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Summer is here. Time to get the backyard ready for the ultimate pool party, all the barbecues, 4th of July celebrations. You can get all the things you need at Family Leisure. Right now it's 80, but already feels like 94. We had a little rain moving through the area a little bit earlier. Will be breezy, though. Tonight, 77, rather cloudy and humid once again. Looks like it should be a very nice weekend, although very, very hot. High temperatures, high humidity, but limited, minimal chances of precipitation. Of course, any time that you do have any humidity, there's always the chance of rain. We're going to get into the, looks like upper 90s, near 100 degrees early next week. But again, with the heat index, it's going to feel a lot warmer. Coming up in hour number 3, got some baseball news to get into on the program. Also at 9:30, Robert Miller will join us in studio, the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. But right now, we need you to jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255 because it's time for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It is 10 in a row. It's brought to you by Napa Cafe and Gates Lumber. Gates Lumber, so much more than lumber. Lumber, though, is their main thing, but custom windows and doors. This is great for homeowners, contractors, developers, interior designers, architects, remodelers. You can call them for any questions that you have. They'll answer them at 901-942-3201. You can go to gateslumber.com. You can go by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920. It's Gates Lumber. All right, Jay Ham, what's the prize package we have for our lucky winner today?
Got a very nice package. We have 2 complimentary passes to the Malco movie theaters. We have a $25 gift card from Central Barbecue, a $25 gift certificate for the owner's box, and a $50 gift certificate to Napa Cafe.
All right, so very nice. We got a nice prize package, as Jay Ham said, for you for the winner to this question. Top 20 college basketball teams with the most NBA first-round draft picks. So we're looking at the college basketball programs that have produced the most NBA first-round draft picks. Top 20. So if they make the top 20, including ties, it's a yes. If not, it's a no. 901-360-8255. Let's give away a winning package today. Don't want to, Jay Ham takes it home if nobody wins. And that's unfortunate. We've had a lot of, we've had probably 3 of the last 5 weeks, I think, we didn't have a winner. 2 of the 5?
I'd say 2.
I know Joe won last week.
Joe came through real quick last week.
Okay, so let's get going. 901-360-8255. Top 20 college basketball programs with the most NBA first-round draft picks. We got some open lines. Steven has dialed in. Hey, Steven.
Hello, how you doing this morning?
Doing well. Again, these are top 20 on the top 20 list. College basketball programs with the most NBA first-round draft picks over the years. Indiana.
Yes.
Arizona.
Yes.
Memphis.
No.
Louisville.
Yes.
Washington.
No.
Ohio State.
Yes.
USC.
No.
Michigan.
Yes.
Connecticut.
Yes.
DePaul.
No.
Oh, yes, you're a winner, Steven. Congratulations. Yeah. We'll put you on hold. Jay Ham will get your information 1 for 1 today, and that is it. So Jay Ham will get that information, and then I'm going to quiz you, Jay Ham, on the second list that we didn't get to. But I can tell you right now, from the first list.
Congratulations.
Oh, your mic's up, Jay Ham.
What's your last name?
Indiana, 28. Arizona, 29. Louisville, 25. Ohio State, 25. Michigan, 34. And Connecticut, 26. All ranked in the top 20. We'll get to list number 2 in just a moment with Jay Ham. I'll quiz him and see if he knows. Some of those were obvious. Some were very tough. Good job for Steven. Congratulations to him. Okay. Major League Baseball news, and then I'll quiz Jay Ham. Tampa Bay last night beat Kansas City 13-2. Junior Caminero hit 3 home runs. Caminero really came on like gangbusters last year at the All-Star game, the Home Run Derby. Remember him? Caminero is off to another great season. Tampa Bay continues to be a surprise. They also had a combined no-hitter for 8 1/3 innings, but I think it was Craig Kimbrell, who's been a part of a combined no-hitter in his career, gave up a go for the ball, and Kansas City would go on to score 2 runs, Tampa Bay winning 13-2. The Philadelphia Phillies, my Phillies, became the first team in Major League Baseball history to win 3 straight games coming from behind, winning on walk-off homers. They've been unbelievable of late, falling well behind in games and just turning it on, getting a lot of power. Hill, who's been a recent pickup for them, has been huge. Hit another home run yesterday, had a game winner the other day. Harper, Marsh has been hitting more long balls than usual, so the Phillies making a little bit of history. Speaking of history, Blaze Jordan of the Cardinals, 12 runs batted in his first 12 games. That matches the Cardinals' all-time record for most RBI in their first 12 Major League Baseball games. The other 2 players, you may have heard of Albert Pujols and J.D. Drew. So Blaze Jordan, the South Haven product, the local guy who's friend of the show, is doing very, very well with that young Cardinals team. Mentioned earlier that Ollie Marmol will be a member of the coaching staff for the National League All-Stars in the All-Star Game, the Midsummer Classic, which will take place in Philadelphia. And that's it as far as the baseball is concerned. Softball, a young lady by the name of Tatum Biddick was signed by Memphis. She is a local product, played, I believe, at Henderson State last year. The reason I bring her up, and I knew nothing of her before I read about her, she has a following of over 1 million people on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. I'll tell you what I'm not on, J-Ham. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. So I have no idea who she is.
Is that 1 million on each platform or just a combined?
I don't know if it's a combined, because again, I don't know her. I mean, she's obviously a very attractive young lady. And
I don't know it.
I would bet her following is 99% dudes.
That'll do it.
But she's a good softball player, and congratulations to Coach Prater. She ends up being able to sign her, again, a transfer from Henderson State. Okay, I'm putting you on the spot for list 2. Steven hit it out of the ballpark with list 1.
I guarantee you I will not do better than Steven, but let's roll.
Well, you can only tie, right? You can only equal what he did. Okay, these are top 20 college basketball teams or programs with the most NBA first-round draft picks over the years, history. Texas.
No.
That's a yes.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the tough ones. Florida.
Yes.
That's a no.
That's a no.
That's a shocker,
That's the
isn't
funny
it?
part, yeah.
You called your shot. You called your shot. I think I'd have a tough time with this, too. Alabama. I think the second list may be harder already, but
I'm going to go yes.
You're correct. My Maryland Terrapins.
Yes.
Syracuse.
Ooh. Yes.
You are correct. Texas Tech.
No. Absolutely.
Kansas. That's a softball, right? That's a gimme. Georgia Tech.
I'll go yes.
You are correct. You're gaining steam now. Pitt.
Ooh. Not top 20 with Pitt, no.
You were right again. St. John's.
Ooh, now this one's tough. Because I'm thinking Carnesecca, Mike Jarvis.
Chris Mullins of the world, all those guys.
Steve Lavender, he didn't have no other. I'll go no on St. John's. Got me.
Well, I can understand why you missed that one. They broke a tie and moved into the top 20 with
Zuby.
Zuby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zuby Dooby Dooby. So this went right through the draft. Some of the numbers. Texas 21, Alabama 20, Maryland 21, Syracuse 24, Kansas 37, 19 for Georgia Tech, St. John's 17. I don't have the whole list in front of me, but I think Kentucky was easily number one.
I was glad that you didn't ask Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke. Leave those alone.
Right.
It's
I
like
left
those
them
are the
alone,
kind.
but still, I mean, they were, you had those 50-50s.
That's a good,
with Texas.
That's a good quiz, though. I like that one.
And Steven, congratulations to him. So he had a home run with that one. But there you go. That is 10 in a row, brought to you by Gates Lumber and Napa Cafe. If you haven't had dinner at Napa Cafe, you're missing out, folks. Great restaurant's been in Memphis for a long time. It's located at 5101 Sanderland Avenue. Have a great night out with your wife or girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or whoever it may be. The whole family. Celebrate, like I said, with a crowd or an intimate evening. 5 dining rooms, including a private wine cellar. Brought my wife to the private wine cellar years ago. It was really, really nice. Sit back, relax, celebrate. Leave the cooking to Napa Cafe. You can stay in. You can also have curbside pickup with their full menu. Napa Cafe is open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit their website at napacafe.com. All right. Is there anything else I needed to get to before the break? Oh, I forgot to bring this up. We were talking earlier, Jay Ham, about obviously the Grizzlies and the rookies that were on hand yesterday and some of the transactions going on in the NBA. Still so many things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time. The NBA used to be, man, you got to the summer and look, there's going to be a dead period for a while. Yeah. We get to August where football takes over and then basketball gets cranked back up in late September when the camps open up or early October, whatever it is. But it just seems like it's because we have the Grizzlies probably, right? Because we have an NBA team. It's just longer. And I love it that there's always something exciting going on.
Well, we have more to be engaged with because we have a team here.
Absolutely.
More to be concerned with progress and things of that nature. So it actually becomes a part of our summer.
And before the Grizzlies came, what did people consider the Tigers?
Ooh.
Their professional team.
This is true.
Right?
This is very true.
So I got here in 95, and the Tigers were kings, and then the Grizzlies came, and having both of them means that we have a lot of things to talk about.
There was a lot more summertime talk about Tiger basketball at that point in time,
yes,
too. And I was a kid, and I still remember that part.
Right, and then look, I understand that after a while, it's like, oh, come on, how many times can you talk about the expectations? What do you think the rotation will be? Who do you think the starting lineup will be? What do you think will happen? But that's just part of it, right?
Right. And it for me, because when those conversations happen, it leads me to actually going back to watching more film to be more prepared to come in and contribute to those conversations because I might saw something on the film that I didn't see in real time.
That's why we need you, man. You're the historian. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, the guy who had more nicknames than I think anybody, remember Robbie Avila?
Yeah.
With St. Louis?
Yeah.
He was originally with who? Indiana State?
Indiana State.
Then transferred to St. Louis. He was the A-10 player of the year at St. Louis.
He followed his coach because his coach was at Indiana State, and he went to St. Louis. He followed him there.
Signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the L.A. Lakers.
I like it.
Congratulations
to
him.
Robbie.
One of the nicknames, maybe my favorite nickname, Milk Chamberlain.
Yeah, that was my that was the one.
So you're going to see a lot of familiar names, whether it be because of teams in the area they play for or played for, signing now either summer contracts, summer league contracts, Exhibit 10s, maybe even two-ways. And the two guys, I'm trying to do this by memory now, that somebody brought up earlier today that played at one time for Memphis, John Camden and Earl Timberlake. Do you remember the two?
I remember Timberlake.
Yeah. They have both respectively signed summer league deals with teams. And I forget which teams they signed, but Camden had at least three stops after he left Memphis. I don't think Penny really gave him his time that he needed. I thought he was going to be a really good three-point shooter for them. He just did not get a lot of PT. And Timberlake, I loved Timberlake, and he used him, and then he went in a different direction. Penny had so much talent. He brought in so much talent back when he can get all those guys. So it's understandable. You don't have time to wait on somebody to develop,
right?
Because you got to win, and so your patience runs thin. And so those were a couple of guys that I thought they bettered themselves I don't think Timberlake went to big-time programs. I don't think Camden did either. They bounced around. But good for them that they finished their college career strong.
And they still continue in the basketball realm. That's
and as you know, a lot of these guys, most of these guys aren't making NBA teams. They're putting themselves in a position to either be in the G League or to go international and play.
Continue playing and making money.
And making some coin, right?
Because that's what I like even about Summer League is that, when you get into Summer League, you'll see these dudes that you might not see them no more till next summer.
Mm-hmm.
But the work that they're going to put out there for you, this is why we 94 Feet of Life like to refer to it as the basketball Hunger Games. Because everybody's going for everybody's throat. They're trying to make that great impression to get that, full contract if they can get it.
That's right. One football note from the college football world. Tennessee has parted ways with Penn State transfer edge Chaz Coleman. The pass rusher was absent from summer workouts last week before resurfacing in Knoxville on Friday. He has been medically disqualified from the Volunteers roster. He was absent from the second half of the Volunteers spring practice, and at that time, his status with the program moving forward was unclear. There's a comment here. Chaz has been dealing with some things, and we're here to support him. Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel told On3 Sports on Wednesday we'll continue to go through the process. He played only 144 snaps as a true freshman last year with Penn State. He was limited because of injuries, but a lot of talent. He had 12 pressures in that limited time, 3 tackles for loss, a strip sack. He followed defensive coordinator Jim Knowles from Penn State to Tennessee this offseason, but he will not be a part of the Volunteers. Hey, everybody, June is all about baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and a new All-Star Chevrolet. Staycation or vacation begins in Olive Branch. How low can your payment go? Come to All-Star and see what 0% financing for 5 years on all these new Silverados will do. Military, first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. All-Star Chevy has pre-owned makes and models for any budget, priced in the 10s, 15s, or 20s. Or go big with a Tahoe. Traverse with a third-row seat. Corvette Stingray, pre-owned Silverados. For all your commercial and fleet needs, All-Star Chevy is the top-rated business elite dealer. Express Cargo and Express Passenger vans are here. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Get the most money for it today. So together, let's drive. Don't miss the best sale of summer event. It's going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. Robert Miller from the FESJC joins us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Attention business owners, now you can protect what matters most with EnviroMaster Services. EnviroMaster is a health and safety company providing complete disease prevention and odor control programs for commercial properties and restrooms. Don't take a chance. Let EnviroMaster kill the germs that kill your business. Right now, EnviroMaster is protecting over 300 Memphis area customers. So let EnviroMaster protect your business. Call 901-500-5361 or go to enviro-master.com.
The wait is finally over. Get ready for the grand opening of the newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You can shop grand opening savings at Landers Cadillac of Memphis, and you'll find there's a special deal on all the remaining new 2024 Escalades. You can get $20,000 in total savings. And they're paying top dollar for trades at Landers Cadillac. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
We talk all the time about what a fantastic neighborhood bar Bell Tavern is, but don't just take our word for it. Go to Yelp and see all the great things other people have said about Bell Tavern. Person after person talks about the cool atmosphere in Bell Tavern. They rhapsodize about how friendly they thought the staff was. They go on and on about what an amazing find Bell Tavern is, tucked in Barbaro Alley downtown. People from all over the country pat themselves on the back for discovering Bell Tavern. You can pat yourself on the back for finding Bell Tavern too. Go ahead. Feel smug.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Five Ash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
At Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, it's the Volkswagen Driver Days event, and it's drivers wanted. If you're looking for sporty, we Gossett 2026 Jetta S. Just $249 a month, $249 a month for Jetta S. Luxury just got a new definition in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Now $269 a month. Brand new Tiguan S, $269 a month. And right now, Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike's got 2026 Atlas SE, only $329 a month. That's only $329 a month for a brand new Atlas SE. Ready for a new ride? We got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, 1875 Covington Pike, or shop online anytime at GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Atlas TC 564,681, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer in 6/30/26 dealer.com.
Memphis, your Saturday mornings are about to get a little spicier. Get heaping helpings of SEC sports with the Back Porch right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM starting at 10 a.m. Back Porch features experts interviewing big-name guests, discussing big-time topics, and chopping up all things Southeastern Conference. You'll get plenty of facts, opinions, and perspective, all of it about the SEC. The Back Porch, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:30, our final half hour today. We've talked a lot of golf this week, a lot of news, of course, that came out earlier in the week. We had Bob Herrig on yesterday. I've been talking a lot with my buddy Steve Sands, who joins us for every major and has for years. But right now, it's all about our event. It's all about the FedEx St. Jude Championship. It's all about the first event of the FedEx Cup playoffs, which will be coming up in August, and it's all about our friend Robert Miller, who's the first-year executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We had a chance, a couple of months ago to have you on?
Yeah, right when I started. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
It was great to have you then. It's great to have you now. You got a big smile on your face. You didn't come with any armed guards for questions that I may ask you, so I feel pretty good about that. But look, let's talk about this tournament. We are closing in on it, my friend.
I don't have much hair left, so don't tell me how much time we have. Yeah, we're 50 days out, which is kind of insane, where we start. I mean, you work all year to kind of build up for a week. And, and when Joe Tomic actually hired me to become the sales director, when you work in professional sports, you're talking about, I was in hockey, so you're talking about 40 home games, 40 away games, 20 of those 40 you're on the road with people. This is like, you got a week to put on a show. And, yesterday we had our hospitality event where we had all of our hospitality buyers, come in and actually see a lot of their venues, see, kind of go through all the logistics just to make sure their clients are taken care of. And it is insane how many people flew in. We had people flying from Tulsa. We had people flying from Atlanta, people flying from Denver, Colorado, Arizona. These hospitality buyers, we're bringing them in from all over the country. So, a lot of people, when we talk about the economic impact of this event, it's not just the week. Yesterday we had executives that flew in, stayed in hotels. I know I sent my people from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Folks Folly last night. So yes, that's a plug. They need to take care of me the next time I'm there. But it's one of those.
Bring me along.
Yes, but it's just one of those things where this event is a international tournament, and it puts Memphis in a beautiful spotlight for a week. And people came here, and lo and behold, I was talking to somebody last night, and they had really never gotten a chance to experience Memphis and be here and stuff like that. They're at the course. The course looks phenomenal right now. It is absolutely amazing. And it's just it's such a really cool event. From this perspective, in this seat now, being executive director, to see everything that kind of goes into it, from the component to build it up. Because now I'm seeing the operations of the build process. I'm seeing the operations of the agronomy team. I'm seeing there's so many different factors that go into to make this event the elite level it is. Just excited about it. Yeah, 50 days out, we're off and running.
You need an army. You need an army of people with the sales background.
Yeah.
Do you look at we're going to be doing things all the way up until these players arrive? Or is it, look, we'll have everything in place in about 3 weeks and we won't have to worry about anything else? Or are you just hammering things from a sales standpoint, from corporate sponsorships, from partners? Are you doing that all the way up until you start?
Well, see, the good thing is we, our event's so dynamic that we actually have a very good renewal rate. So a lot of our sales happens literally during the event or right after the event.
Really?
Yeah. So we take care of a lot of stuff on like long-term contracts and all that kind of stuff. But, it's bringing in a lot of new business too. So our sales team works throughout the year to really and truly grow that. And I mean, right now you're talking about our marquees, which is our biggest venues on 18. They're sold out. Our Pro-Am's been sold out for several years. You've got, our Bluff City Suites, they're sold out. Our Rhythm and Blues Club, there's one bay left. I mean, so all of our biggest hospitality units that bring in, a lot of the bigger companies with the larger packages, those are getting pretty close to either being sold out or now sold out. But now the thing we focus in is our single day hospitality, which is one thing that we've introduced from a sales perspective a couple years ago. So when I got in market, that's something we didn't do. I mean, used to, you had to do 14 tickets for 4 days. If you think about that, that's over 50 tickets that you have to be responsible for. I mean, it's a lot of logistics that go into what these people do to bring people to the city and actually put on entertainment for their guests. So what we did in Memphis is we introduced single day hospitality. So if you need one seat for 1 day in the St. Jude Pavilion, you can get it. If you need one seat for 1 day in the Freight 59, you can get it. And it is honestly sparked something that we couldn't even really project how well it's done, because a lot of Memphis businesses have really aligned to that and said, hey, if we don't have to commit to 4 days, if we can do this and we can accommodate what we need on a daily basis, we're going to come out and kind of support you. And it's grown exponentially. So, I have great examples of, we had a company last year that spent $3,000 with us. They just signed for a $125,000 deal. So it's one of those things that when these local Memphis businesses actually get a chance to come in and experience hospitality, they go, okay, we see it now. We see the ROI. We see the value in it. And so it's kind of grown to the thing where we become a juggernaut. And so I love the fact, and like you and I talked, we were 60-40 when I first started. So 60% of my hospitality buyers were from outside the Memphis area. So that's fantastic for the city. I mean, you've got a lot of money coming in. You've got a lot of people coming into the city. Your hotels are full. Your restaurants full. People are, getting rental cars. I mean, all that incremental revenue. But now my hospitality buyers are almost 50-50, and we haven't lost any of that outside revenue. That's only gone up. So, the fact that we've been able to grow that Memphis-based local support is just done wonders for us, and it just keeps continuing to grow.
You may not have the answer to this question because it's probably hard to gather all the info, but what is the guesstimate on the percentage out of 100% of spectators that come from outside the metropolitan Memphis area to watch the tournament?
From a hospitality buyer, I know it's more from the outside. I'd probably say from a perspective of just grounds people coming in. I mean, if you look from a 150-mile radius, we're probably almost 50-50 with people coming in.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are coming in from all over the place. North Mississippi, coming in from East Tennessee, coming in from Arkansas, coming in from Missouri. This is a global destination tournament, and it's really, really cool and unique for the city to have an event like this that actually brings this much attention to the city in a good way.
We're going to get to something we talked about when you first came in about the all-inclusive, which I think is incredible. We'll get to all the information for those who don't know what I'm talking about or missed it the first time. But you also have news about First Tee of Memphis.
Yes. So, so we released something yesterday. So with this Grounds Plus initiative that you were talking about, this was something that's directly fan feedback approached. So, our net promoter score last year was 71. So what that means is we take real-time data from our fans, from our players in real time. So when it's 98 degrees, humidity out there, hot as all get out, they can give us feedback. We get some of the best feedback as far as positivity of the hospitality we put on, as far as like that southern feel, that Memphis feel. Everybody likes it. I mean, our operations team, our TSM team led by Nikki Payne, she literally puts on an event, and she's from this area. So she knows what, people want to see coming from outside, but she also knows what people from the Memphis area want to see.
Sure.
They want it when they walk on they want it. She wants it to feel like Memphis, which I love. And so, the Grounds Plus initiative came from a direct feedback of that was one of the negatives that we got, access to water, cost to water, food access, all that kind of good stuff. So that's where we came up and worked with our partners for Ground Plus. But with that said, when we rolled out Grounds Plus, you have to do it for everybody. There's no way to have a wristband that like, hey, you get
right.
sessions, So what we did is we made sure we worked with our partners to get military personnel, because Big River Steel, they do our military tickets. So all military personnel, veterans and active, get to come in, get free tickets to the event, but we needed to make sure Grounds Plus was included in that. Big River Steel stepped up. So the one thing we needed was our kids tickets program, so our youth program. I don't know if you know about First Tee of Memphis.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
First Tee is a great organization. Their headquarters was normally in Nashville. They are actually going to move their headquarters to Memphis, Tennessee. So
and it's going to be in the new
Audubon. Yeah. So a couple years ago, when the city of Memphis put so much money in the local golf courses, which was a huge initiative, it really promoted that thing. And then after First Tee kind of got a chance to kind of sink its teeth into Memphis, they're moving their headquarters here. And so when you start to learn about First Tee, they're all about getting golf clubs in kids' hands. It doesn't matter what demographic, who they are, where they came from. We want kids to learn about golf. We want kids to understand the sport. We want kids to really get it. That's also about us with the PGA Tour. That's why we have our kids program. We want kids to be able to come to a PGA Tour event. We understand that professional sports is expensive to come to. From a parent bringing a kid out. You take a kid out to a Major League Baseball game, an NFL game, and you go to a concession stop. It's not easy.
You better take out a loan.
Yes, absolutely. And so with that, we wanted to do a kids program. So, if you buy a parent's ticket, you get 2 kids tickets with it, 15 and under. Now that needs to be included in that. So, with First Tee, not only are they teaching kids how to play golf, they're also doing fundamentals of life. They have tutor programs. They have, it's incredible the way their headquarters is going to be. Not to mention they're naming the headquarters after Lauren Roberts.
Oh, nice.
So it's a really big initiative. And so our general chairman, Jack Salmons, he's knee deep in it as well. And it all made sense because we're on CBS this year, and Jim Nance is going to be leading that charge with CBS. He's on the board of directors for that. So it all kind of accumulates and comes together. And the next thing you know, we started working with Whit and all the boys from First Tee. And next thing you know, they looked at me and they said, we need to get involved in the tournament. We need to be a piece of this. It's all about kids. This is what we're going to do. So they are now the title sponsor of our youth program. And so the First Tee of Memphis is responsible for every kid that gets to come onto that golf course and watch a PGA Tour event for free. It's all because First Tee of Memphis stepped up.
All right, let's talk about that all-inclusive for spectators.
Yeah. So now when you walk on the grounds, it doesn't matter who you are, man. You have access to concession food. There's going to be 5 concession menus that we're going to roll out, or 5 items on the menu that we're going to roll out. But the biggest thing is you have access to water, soft drinks, and Powerade,
continuously.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to make sure we had that because, we know it's hot. We know when people walk around, but also for our hospitality buyers, if you're in your hospitality tent hanging out, but you want to take a client, 3 or 4 holes over, normally you'd have to go back to your hospitality tent to get water.
Grab something, right?
Now you can grab it wherever you want. So it's ultimately we wanted to be the most accommodating event out there. We wanted, and, I tell you, when we took this to the PGA Tour, they looked at us and they said, all right, let's take a swing. And it's fun that Memphis is going to be the first one that gets to do this. It's kind of like last year. Last year we worked out something with Anheuser-Busch and Michelob Ultra, our partner, for $5. Mm-hmm. So, 14, one of the hardest holes in golf, man. I think there were 23 birdies on it, 130 water balls or something like that last year. It's just incredible how difficult that hole plays. And with there only being 23 birdies, we decided to do, hey, every time there's a birdie for 5 minutes, there's $5 beers on 14. Now, it's not on like 11 or 12. It's just on 14. And if it
was a mad rush. Let me tell you, because I was out there.
But I got to get you out there now. So the build out on 14's even gotten better this year.
Oh, really?
It's really, that hole is becoming something special and near and dear to our hearts. And we love it. And, there's other people now that are reaching out to us like, how do we recreate that? Can we do the 5 for $5 here? And so it's just really cool when something starts in Memphis and grows, and I'll tell you what, the old executive director, Joe Tolman, I talked to him about once a week. He actually was in town, his visa, kind of went up in Australia. So he came in and, when he came in the office, literally, it's one of those things where we kind of had a checklist where we went down with everything. And, that was one of the things that was a big initiative for him. And
yes, it was.
And so, it's just, it's really cool to be able to take something that we started last year with his team and really kind of elevate it and see it go to different heights. And, we're just excited about everything we have rolling in. But Grounds Plus, it's ultimately, it's accommodating our fans to have access to water and food when they need it.
How many different places will there be around the course that they could stop and get this?
So there's 5 strategic stations. And so we did those 5 stations based off, really and truly looking at data of where people are on the tournament, so there's going to be one on the front 9, because a lot of people kind of walk behind players and stuff like that on the front 9. So there's one strategically placed over there. There's one by the clubhouse. There's one by 18. There's one by the hub. And then there's one out by 14. So there's a couple different places that we have them throughout, but they're strategically located to be, around where the bulk of our fans are.
Okay. So, earlier this week, big announcement, although not a complete announcement, made by Brian Rolap, who is the CEO, and he will get the title of Commissioner. Jay Monahan, of course, in his last year's final days, I guess. But Brian Rolap talking about the changes that are coming, sweeping changes starting in 2028. We don't know all of them, but we know some of them. This tournament here in Memphis will be celebrating its 70th year next year, 2027.
Yep.
We know we're a playoff event this year. We know we're a playoff event next year, but we don't know yet about the future. I'm assuming that you right now are in that same position where you don't have all the answers either?
No, I mean, so we have teams at, headquarters right now that are still working on all the logistics of 2028. So, scheduling, what the playoffs look like, where the playoffs are going to be. I mean, I know one thing that we've heard a lot of fan feedback about was the playoff being like a match play type system and things like that. So that's going to be implemented. But no, as of right now, I mean, the team that I work with and where I'm at right now, we're 50 days out. So we're hyper focused on this event.
Sure.
But no, we have teams at headquarters that are knee deep in trying to, pretty much grow the game of golf and really and truly take it to that next level with what they want to do. So no, as of right now, 2028, nothing's been solidified from my perspective on this event at all.
Have you been given any indication on when you may, because you guys start planning early.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe used to say, one day after the tournament, maybe to relax, and then you're back to work.
Not even. I mean, literally the day after the tournament, we have Gurus of Golf, which is a great event that supports Le Bonheur. And then we literally go Tuesday where we start unloading golf carts, and then Wednesday is crash day. So
365.
I mean, it's
so
it's
you
insane.
need to know, as do other tournaments, about the future. Is there any indication on when all the information will be divulged?
No, I mean, because we have teams at headquarters that are going to do, all the negotiating. I mean, the contract with FedEx, ends in 27,
right,
and so, there's a lot of negotiations that are going on and things like that. And I know, our teams at headquarters realizes, how big of a partner FedEx has been. I mean, think about how long they've been here. I think it was 86 they first jumped on. And then, not only is this the 70th, playing of a PGA Tour event in 27, the 7th year that we're going to play, but it's also 20 years of FedEx being that title partner. It's a big year for us. So, I know we value that partnership a good bit, and I know that team's going to work hard with FedEx to figure out what they're going to figure out. But as of right now, I don't have a timeline. I don't know what the timeline looks like, but all I know is we're locked in for this year and we're locked in for 27.
All right, for people who have not yet purchased their tickets or trying to get information, what's the website that people need to go to?
FedExChampionship.com.
Is there a number they can also just call, or is everything through the website?
I would do everything through the website. Come and see me. I mean, everything's on there. Website's the best way to get it.
He is the first year executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, but not his first year with the event in Memphis. He is Robert Miller. Robert, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk to you down the road here. We are getting closer, as you said. How many days?
50 days.
50 days.
It's crazy. So, it's good. I mean, and you talk about a lot about the history of the tournament and all that kind of stuff, and, how the tournament, came to existence to where it is. I mean, it is so much fun to look at, the history of this event with Phil Cannon at the helm, Daryl Smith, Joe Tomic, those guys. I mean, to be able to kind of see where this thing has grown and to be able to kind of continue to carry that torch, it's just it's an honor, and I love it. I love the team that I have. I love what we do in Memphis. I love this city. I love the support we're getting from this city. I'm excited about 26 and 27 and beyond.
Wish you nothing but the best. We'll be out there live on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It is my favorite event, so looking forward to it. Thank you, Robert.
I can't wait to talk to you then.
Absolutely appreciate it. Again, Robert Miller joining us here in studio. We'll take a break, come back with our final segment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals, they start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Why so down, little buddy?
Little buddy?
I'm just trying it out.
New.
Fine. Why so down?
Somebody invited me to a barbecue.
Ooh, I'm guessing they're not from here.
They were not.
It takes time for people from other parts of the country to understand that barbecue is a food, not an event.
Obviously, they meant a cookout.
I imagine you let them know that.
I did. I went on an extended rant about how if they want barbecue, they need to go to Central Barbecue because Central Barbecue has the best barbecue in the world.
But they weren't planning on serving ribs at their barbecue?
They were cooking burgers.
Oh, those Philistines.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at OldDominick.com.
Yes, it's that time again, and after all, you bought or sold a house 25 years ago, and everything should be the same. Wrong. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and just like artificial intelligence, AI, it's changing the landscape. Buying and selling a home today is worlds apart from when you last did it, whether it was 25 years ago, 40 years ago, or 2 years ago. Just like getting through a jungle, you need a trusted guide who has a highly successful strategic marketing program when you're selling and who also knows the trails and pitfalls when you're buying. You may have heard of me due to the fact that I not only am the worst golfer in town, but people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. Whether you're thinking of selling or buying or merely want a conversation about what to do or not to do, you can always reach me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or call me at 483-0546.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Breaking news from Major League Baseball. The New York Metropolitans have parted ways with head coach Carlos Mendoza. The Mets 34-47, last place in the National League East, 15 games behind the division-leading Atlanta Braves. The Mets 34-47. The Mets minor league teams a combined 165 and 200 for an overall mark of 199 and 247. That's a 446 winning percentage. The only organization with a worse record, the Boston Red Sox. It's probably 2 months too late. I don't know how they kept him on this long, but it's not all his fault. I just told you that the minor league system stinks, but this is against him, J-Ham. the Mets spent a lot of money. They brought in a lot of
A
talent.
whole lot of money.
So if you're going to spend that kind of money, even if your minor league system is probably depleted because of trades you've made and things of that nature, you still got to win with the guys you have. And Mendoza has not. Maybe it'll turn around for the Mets like it did for the Phillies when they fired Rob Thompson and elevated Don Mattingly. There's a lot of stuff out there, J-Ham, right now on rumors about Jalen Duren for Jalen Brown. Now, people are making a good they're making a good point here. There's no way Boston. First of all, Jalen Duren's got to get the bigger contract, which he hasn't got.
Right.
He hasn't gotten yet. Jalen Brown does have the big money, so you got to make that work. But Jalen Duren, as good of a season as he had, an All-Star, we saw in the playoffs him go away at times, and they put Stewart in, who's now a member of the Grizzlies. I don't see that being an even Steven swap. There's got to be a lot of other things that they throw in with Jalen Duren if they're a legitimate offer to the Boston Celtics.
And those rumors started because Jalen Duren's contract negotiations have hit a halt.
Right.
So I think they'll eventually get it worked out. They're going to pay him, but I can understand why there's, buyer beware.
Do you think, even though Brad Stevens has come out and said, look, Jalen Brown is a very valuable part of our organization and all the things that a president of operations should be saying. But do you still think that maybe that relationship is too strained to move on? Or you think they can go, all right, everything's good and get Tatum and Brown together and start once again in October anew?
I don't really think it's strained at all. I think it's just another example of people they've been trying to split this duo up really since they got together. And ongoing. It went ongoing for years. They can't win together. Then they win, and then even after when they win, they're still finding ways to be divisive about them. Well, Brown's better than Tatum. Who cares?
Yeah, they get along a lot better than we think they do.
And this is why Jalen Brown is on that crusade going at Stephen A. Smith. He's like, look, you are the one who's really feeding all these narratives about what's going on, and it's not the case, and he's like you say, it's not cool, it's not valid, and I think it's a bunch of hogwash, honestly. I think Jalen Brown's fine in Boston. He'll be in Boston.
Is there a big name still to be traded? Take Ja out of the equation.
If it were to be a big name to be traded, it probably, I don't even want to say it's Jalen Brown because I don't believe he's going nowhere, so I say no.
Okay. The World Cup today, 6 matches. Senegal and Iraq, Norway and France, Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia, Uruguay and Spain, Egypt and Iran, New Zealand and Belgium. If you missed it last night, late game, 9 o'clock Central Time start. The United States fell to Turkey 3-2. Again, don't get too excited about it. The United States had 4 players who had previous yellow cards. They did not play. You got Christian Pulisic, who didn't play until the 57th minute, testing out that calf injury, and I guess he passed the test. They lose in the 98th minute to Turkey. Yeah, disappointing. They didn't go undefeated, but they had already clinched the group. They already knew their destination. They will take on Bosnia-Herzegovina in the knockout round, the round of 32, on Wednesday. So again, don't fret too much about the USA's loss 3-2. But as I said, to start the show 3 hours ago, it hurt my wallet losing that game. Folks, a summer sizzler special that's going on right now at Dinstall's is peanut brittle. I used to sell the peanut brittle in the cans for Little League when I was a kid. Go around at $5 for the peanut brittle, whatever it was. I love peanut brittle. I've always loved peanut brittle, and I'm telling you, their peanut brittle is the best. Old-fashioned butter brittle, chock full of whole peanuts, sprinkled with a dash of salt. Perfect for summer traveling. Bring it with you. Bring it anywhere. Bring it to the beach. It is out of this world. You're going to get a special price on the peanut brittle this week and this weekend. Closed on Sunday, though. The Summer Sizzler Special. Don't forget the chocolate-covered fruits, the chocolate-covered raspberries. Only a couple of more weeks before they're off the market. The chocolate-covered strawberries and other chocolate-covered fruits will continue until, again, they're out of season. But right now, focus on the chocolate-covered raspberries. All their great delectables, the cashew crunch, the turtlettes, the chocolate-covered pretzels. It's all out of this world. They've been around for 126 years. They got to be doing something right. 5 locations in the greater Memphis area in Collierville, Germantown, downtown Memphis, Laurelwood, that's in East Memphis, and Pleasant View, where they make the candies. That's Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates, putting smiles on people's faces for, again, 126 years. And sad news from the world of sports. Kenny Klein, longtime Louisville sports information director. I remember him for years when Memphis and Louisville were in the same conferences. He has passed away at the age of 67 years old. Certainly sad news. A lot of folks devastated, not only Louisville people, but around the country. Always had a smile on his face, always a nice guy, and did his job extremely well. That's going to do it for us today and this week. Want to thank you folks, as always, your calls, your texts, just listening to the program. We always appreciate it. Thanks to our guests today, Landon Speck, Joe DeLeon, and Robert Miller. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For the vacationing Eli Savoy, for Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. We're back on Monday, 7 a.m. We'll get things started. Have a great weekend, everybody.